How is everybody? I just walked in the door, so I'm getting everything ready. I figured I'd talk to you guys for like 2 seconds until I get in the call. Okay, we're good.
Listen, as far as we're concerned, it's a shotgun. There's no other shotgun in Warhammer Fantasy.
We good. We good.
Hey, Crystal made it!
Yay! Yeah, like I
then there's
literally
also-
walked through the door 2 minutes ago.
And then you can make explosive potions as well. So
Alright, well, if you want 2 minutes to go get a drink or something, feel free.
you can hear a fan, can you?
No,
No.
can't hear a fan.
Oh, God.
I'll be good. Like I walked in the door and my nephew was nice enough to make a pot of coffee. So I grabbed
Aw.
a cup of coffee and I ran in here and got set up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah,
when you're doing it again, stop it. Stop being slightly too large for these tiles.
Hang on.
The only three items that explicitly have blast is the blunderbuss, the bomb, and then the incendiary bomb, which is basically your Molotov cocktails.
There you go. Can you not resize when?
No, I can't.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh wait,
Hang
no,
on.
you can actually make any weapon any gun a blast weapon with small shot and powder.
Okay. Fair enough. Alright, well, anyway, he should be the right size for the tiles now.
Yeah.
When is getting too big for his britches.
He really is. Let me go back and replace his original fucking token then, seeing as it's causing
shit, I
so much grief.
Oh shit, I never spent my experience.
Well,
Oh.
spend it now.
Well,
Okay.
the 400 experience we got last time.
Let's
Yeah,
rush
it was
ahead. If we very quickly get into combat, then Zeb won't be able to spend his XP.
No spending for you.
Charge
Let me just do a thing because thing.
Yes,
Edits. Okay. You can
spin the
all
sword and-
control Timo from the looks of. Oh no, hang on. No, you
he's
can't
not
all
here
control
this
him
week,
yet.
is he?
No. You can see him. Now you should all be able to control him.
Can I control
Let's
him?
look at his character sheet.
Nope.
Can you
You
move
are.
him around?
Nope.
You are under my control, Theobald.
Oh,
I
are we
can.
moving Theobald?
Now
I can move him.
Theobald, yeah. Good.
But
Ken
what
was
about
small
small dog?
Oh yeah, I forgot small dog is a thing too.
Or
I
small dog?
He needs his default token needs to be changed to Carbonog.
I think I did it on one map, and then obviously because I keep copying it off the main sheet.
Yep.
All right, you all should be able to control Tiny Doggo.
Tiny doggo.
Nice.
Second tier talent is basically just 200 experience, right?
What?
First talent is 100, next one 200, right?
If
you
you're
mean
taking
if
a
you wanna
talent
stack-
multiple times, yes, it's 100 plus the 100 per times you've taken it. So it
Okay.
goes, yeah. Words.
100, then 200, then 300, and so on.
Okay.
Sorry.
This is right.
Good night.
Talson's getting sick.
Oh,
Talson,
Andy is
no.
here today.
The
He was
touch of
gone.
Nurgle. What up?
That Andy was gone this week.
No, I'm here.
He's here.
Okay, I guess I missed something.
Now, Bandy, if he'd be here, Timo turned out he wouldn't be able to be here.
Oh, right. That.
Yeah. That's why you're
Yeah.
all getting the ability to fuck with Timo's stuff.
I
Yay!
suggest we warm up and press forward. You put
Indeed.
Theobald in front.
That's
well,
me.
it is the sewers, and he is a rat catcher.
This is true.
So yes, having escaped the prison after having been thrown in there by Lord what's his noodle? God, I forget my own fucking
Mauler.
notes. Lord Mauler, thank you.
Lord, what's his noodle? It's official now.
Yep. Lord, what's his noodle? Yes, having been thrown in the sewer, having been thrown in the prison by Lord Mauler, after having brought him all of your evidence and information about the Skaven menace threatening the Reikland, you have cunningly escaped into the sewers, by a use of subterfuge and misdirection and a tiny little bit of violence, but no actual deaths. You have escaped without arousing notice as of yet, so you are free to move through the sewers without the imminent threat of death on your heels. You can see down the corridor ahead of you. It would seem that the sewers in this part of the city are of a very particularly fine quality. There are some hallmarks of dwarven engineering, such as smooth stone walls and seals that don't leak. You're pretty sure that these sewers do not extend all the way through the city. How far they go is difficult to tell, but for now, leaving aside the fact that you are treading through literal waste, you have got a
Lovely.
pretty clear run ahead of you. Well, it's a sewer. What do you expect?
It's lovely.
At least, unlike the surface, it's less likely to be dripping down from above here because people are throwing it out the window.
I was gonna say, I've already had to dodge shit, so this is kind of par for the course.
Okay.
Nicest sewer you've ever been in. Yeah.
Would the sewers be guarded?
That's a good question.
I'm pondering this because on the one hand that sounds absurd, but then on the other hand I'm thinking this sewer leads directly into like the prison barrack. This is like
I'm probably no for guards, probably yes for lots of locked gates.
I'd imagine that nobody would want to be willingly down here, so I think they'd probably just be guarding at like the front of the sewers,
Possibly.
like any major pipe that lead out or something of that note.
all right.
Because if you get stuck down here, you officially the worst, shittiest job you can imagine.
We should probably
Literally?
use Talcon and Ninja Dude to scout ahead.
Ninja
lady.
chick.
I know, Ninja Dude.
Ninja Lady's apparently having trouble seeing in a tile too.
Yes.
And just
There you
don't
go.
abide by tile rules.
Well, no, it's more that when I copy and paste them, they end up just overlapping tiles.
Look, if she wants to be considered a lady, she shouldn't cut her hair like that.
Ooh.
Excuse you?
Oh, God.
If you, I mean, Giselle pretty much has already moved up to the hall anyway. If you want her to take point with Talson, then that's certainly something she'll do.
Yes, let's
Yes.
put the halfling on point.
Well, I am
Well,
tiny and no one can really see me.
I was gonna say the halfling does have actual stealth.
Yeah, but I'd say he's a layperson helper of the church.
So, like,
But
you know who
yes.
shouldn't be on point in this particular instance? The loud, clumsy fucks, like Team Holy.
I mean, I could lead the way and yell it all in front of us to make way for the blessed Sigmar.
And that's
I heard you say make way. I'm like, This is not Aladdin. You are not Genie. This is not Prince Ali.
Prince Ali.
Anyway, I suggest we use our sneaky people for, scouting so we know what's ahead of us.
Sure thing.
Fortunately, we haven't alerted anyone, so we don't have, guards right behind us.
Mm-hmm.
So, how dark is it?
It's pretty damn dingy.
Who the hell would be keeping lamps lit down here?
Yeah, I will say that there is a certain amount of disconcerting light down here that the learned amongst you may recognize as like certain fungal growths that are known to give off light in the absence of it. It's basically enough so that you could walk and not break your necks, but it's not comfortable.
I have night vision. Screw you, tall people.
Hey, Talson can see everything.
Yeah, I'm following the halfling.
I suggest we follow the halfling quite a ways behind, because we need to. It's not really worth him stealthing and scouting if we're gonna give away his position by being right behind him.
No, like a
That's
gaggle of
understandable.
ducklings just right behind him.
Talson, I can't see. I think I stepped in something.
All right, I suggest you go forward, Layman Thornpocket, and assess any potential threats. Find the best way out.
Oh, I see wall. So I'm gonna move up here and pick around the
Okay.
corners.
Yep, no problems.
Think what you had total experience of 850, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, thank God, because I was messing around with the calculator and get your. I spent all my experience, so you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Alrighty then.
I mean, I can light a candle if you guys want some light. I have some candles still.
As it stands at the moment, you think it would be relatively safe to light something. Something like a candle or a very small light spell from Thomas. The concern with that, obviously, is that light may bounce off the tunnel wall. So if there is someone or something else down here, you will attract attention.
You are being assisted by the ninja of indeterminate gender.
She's going to kill you by the end of this campaign.
If Aldemar has made any digs out loud at Giselle's gender, she hasn't seemed to rise to them. She just kind of gives you an impassive look and continues on doing what she's doing.
I'm pretty sure the
I
only
don't
ones
understand
I've
what
made,
you want. Sorry.
I'm sure the only ones I think I've intended to make in character were referring to her as male. When we first encountered her / were aware of her existence, when I legitimately did not know because I only go by her token, which looks like a fucking dude.
Talcon probably should have figured out a signal to tell y'all to come along, but well.
Yeah.
But how
I
will
know
we
it's
see
like
the
a bird.
signal?
Yes,
Oh, I got an
know it's
idea.
like a bird.
Oh, I got an idea. Talcon's gonna fling a rock backwards at the walls. At the wall.
Oh,
Oh shit, we are being attacked.
get down!
Burn everything.
What?
Wait, we're being attacked? Onward!
No, we are not being attacked. It's just.
Why am I burning
Dawson's
everything?
A single rock and like 15 different responses. Talcon should have thought this better.
Mm-hmm.
You may, at least in this instance, have to go back to the group and tell them.
Yep. Tall people, follow.
Small dog,
To the-
follow.
I'll follow you up to this intersection. We want more scouting.
All right, scouting here,
Okay.
looking to be the right one, considering where my token would be.
Okay. Hang on, sorry, I was just on a different screen for a second. Which one you want to paint? You want to
Peeking down here.
down this one.
Yep.
All right. Cool. You're probably gonna be able to see about that far.
All right. So let's take bets. Are we thinking?
Giant rats.
Are we thinking gangs, rats, or beastmen?
Beastman gangs.
Or mutants maybe?
Rat
This-
gangs.
Mutant
I'm hoping
beast
for
and
that.
rat gangs.
I'm hoping for gangs. They at least take bribes.
Tunnel snakes.
Little snakes rule!
Sneaky. Is this a path?
They're gonna take you to the sweet rolls. Un momento, por favor. Alright, so as you come around this corner, you are actually going to hear the increasing sound of rushing water. And as you look down here, you will see that this kind of opens out into a bit of a pit with a relatively rickety bridge across it. You can just kind of see around the corner that the pit does have a side, does have a overflow that leads into it, where it seems that the water comes down, and you can see down the hole further that it does go off. It does go off beyond the bridge.
Talcon has no idea of sexual understanding or why this is even here. Why is there water? Why does it pull up here?
It's hard to It's hard to figure out why. If you had to hazard a guess, you'd probably assume it's some unknowable dwarven engineering reason. But unfortunately, your token dwarf is no longer with you.
The token dwarf died the token death in the fridge.
Indeed.
It's there to prevent drain overflow.
Yes, but Talcon ain't gonna understand that. He don't care.
Understand city planning.
The moot has no city planning.
The moot just kind of grew.
The moot's just there.
Indeed.
Is this actually like a pit, or can I actually walk across it?
No, you can walk across the bit in the middle. It is a dip and there is actual sewage in it. So for you, it's probably going to be really fucking unpleasant, but you can make it across.
You
I
could
could do
just
the
go down
jump.
here and walk around it.
Oh, yeah, that could also be an idea. Let's go ahead and make the jump.
Okay.
I make jump.
Hooray!
If you had failed that, you would have smelled so rosy.
Andy, that episode was dumb.
I know, right?
Alright.
Whoever wrote that episode should die.
Por favor. I've just got to... So I was just doing something real quick.
Beep 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 beep.
Dang it, I clicked the wrong fucking thing. I'm trying to do something and the fucking Roll20 is like, nah, it's all good.
I just want you to imagine just imagining that entire group in the hallway just peeking around.
I know, that is fucking hilarious to me, believe me. I'm just imagining them all there like,
Armina's just kind of like
Waiting for you.
waiting. She's not looking anywhere. She's just kind of waiting.
Suddenly
not
dark
wrong.
elf.
But I'd rather look silly than run headlong into a horde of Skaven.
That is a good point.
I would just have to say, getting increasingly antsy. Don't like being underground. Don't like being in cities.
Vaughn, did you see my
It'll be fine.
message?
No, I wasn't looking at Discord. Un momento, por favor. Yes, you can.
Okay.
Basically, short of being in combat, if you want to ever grab any samples or anything like that, just feel free to assume that you can do this.
Okay.
So anything like scraping off a little bit of fungus or digging up a plant or something, I'm A-okay with you just sort of saying that you're going to do that.
Okay.
Given where we are, I think you'd be finding plenty of fungus, so feel
Oh,
free.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that's what I'm wanting to
So
do is get some of the
Talcon is
samples.
looking-
Peeking around here.
So you'll peek around the corner, you'll definitely see this area, and then you'll probably see most of this.
I don't like that. I'm gonna move around here and then take another.
Okay. Let me have a look. Okay.
Anytime measurements come out, I start getting nervous.
So you'll definitely see here, and you'll be able to see here, and you'll probably be able to see this.
In minor fairness, I mean, we know there's a threat here, or we wouldn't have a map. But we also know whenever you deal with line of sight, you've got to keep line of sight available for everything. Otherwise, you give away where the danger is.
Oh, I get it.
Okay.
I can see around the corner. Wait, I can
Yeah,
see
but
around.
I will get you to roll stealth for me.
God damn it! I knew something was there, but I wanted to check. And you could have hit something really nice there too.
Maybe there's a loot rat there, and you've got to not scare it away.
Loot
We
rat!
need a code word
Oh,
for if he ever
of course.
gets into trouble.
You don't.
Wait, no, I
Okay.
can actually reverse that. I succeeded on 06.
Okay.
The
Question.
talent alley cat.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. No problems. All right. You will peek around the corner, and you will see a man.
Yeah,
and-
gang.
No, not a gang. You will see a single man in sort of like a few mouldering piles of straw and rags, and he is asleep.
Oh, he's a bum. That's actually pretty. That's better.
He's just he just looks like some guy who lives down here. And you're pretty sure he lives down here actually, because in that corner under the various pipes and machinery that you don't quite understand the business of, it seems like he's got a collection of jars and pots and a few mouldering piles of straw and rags and things like that. So,
Alright, target's going to sneak back.
okay.
He's actually going to take the long way around this time because he doesn't.
Oh, you don't want to risk it?
Basically, the sewer in the middle, anywhere that there's like that kind of divot kind of thing, the sewer would probably be about sort of mid shin to knee height on a normal human. So probably
Waste.
getting up to
Steep.
about mid thigh to waist deep on Talson.
And just
Falcon is
nothing
going to
but
report what
wasting
he's seen.
refuse.
He's basically he's going to mention the rickety bridge over a big watery pit that you can't see down enough, and he saw some person living down here that is asleep next to some, I guess, a pipe. Besides that, he hasn't found any exits or any place that would be able to fit us besides those two
Wow.
areas.
Oh, probably should scout past the bum. I'm less concerned about the bum than I am the rickety bridge.
As I would say, you only saw one guy, right?
Just one guy sleeping in the hay, or well, sleeping in the moldy remnants of some hay that has seen better days.
So one of him,
We
8 of
should
us, I like
avoid-
those odds.
Odds are he'll be smart enough not to mess with us. He has no reason to mess with us, and if he is dumb and screams, we can kill him.
That's what I'm saying. It's,
Well, if he is smart and doesn't scream, if somebody comes looking for us here, then he can spill the beans.
Technically true, but it doesn't really matter. He can tell whoever comes down here that we escaped through the sewer. The guards are going to figure that out very quickly.
Yeah, the guards. When it gets discovered that you've escaped, there's only one of two ways that you could have gone. And given that the alert didn't go up through the palace, that you climbed up through there, I think they're
we
going to
went
figure
the
it
other
out.
way.
Now
Plus,
we might
we
have
left
gotten
2 sacks of information in a cell back there.
Yeah, but
I mean,
if,
we might have
if
gone in through that sewer grate that is right next to the cell for some reason.
yeah, but if he can tell the guards which way we came from or went to,
As I'd say, then we do to
Get a
him what we
better
did to the
idea.
guards. We knock him out and we leave him tied up in a corner.
I don't know. I don't think it really matters that much if he tells them what direction we went by the time the guards get here.
No, I'm 100% with you on that. I'm just saying, if it's a concern, then he goes night night.
Well, those are the two paths. I don't know either way if it leads to freedom or not.
well, I would like to remind you that we are not necessarily dealing with only gods. What is working
Fair.
for?
Well, Attack hasn't seen anything else that's dangerous either.
Well, here's the thing. I vote Bum Man because Bum Man needs a way to get to the surface.
Indeed, and
So
he
it's a
would,
bum
should at
doesn't
least know
exist.
he'd at least know the area around where he lives.
All right, quick
True.
vote. All in favor of bum?
Yeah, sure.
Bum.
Yeah, Honestly, yes. Instead of scouting more, we could interrogate Bum Man, or we could leave him
That's what I'm
asleep
thinking.
scout around here.
Interrogate, or kindly ask.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, interrogations don't have to be violent. It's just more fun when they are.
Yeah. Interrogation, literally just means asking them questions.
Exactly, and then if they're just not forthcoming with the answers, then once again,
I don't want you interrogating a poor man the same way you interrogated that greenskin on the boat.
Well, we shouldn't have to unless he gets aggressive.
That was a green skin. That was an abomination.
as I'd say, in my defense, that was an unnatural affront to my god, and as such, he was going to get his head smushed either way.
Perhaps we should move along.
Right.
Lead to the boat.
Carry me.
Kerbanog just runs up to the bump.
As I'd say,
No, Aldemar and these various other people are going to walk around this way.
So that if only other kind of wizard that knew how to part the waters, just
Okay.
Yes, the withered power we have never known of. Part the shit water.
it's
parting the brown sea.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Oh,
All
Lord.
right. So yes, this man is kind of beyond beyond asleep. You think he may even actually be completely passed out.
Or dead.
He's sprawled. No, because he's snoring.
be
He's
dead.
sprawled on this. He's sprawled on the pile of refuse with what looks like a very what was once a very full bottle of something, possibly ale or some other stronger liquor, close at hand. And there's sort of the remnants of a. You're pretty sure it was once a rat. It's been pretty much stripped down to the bones anyway, and that's nearby as well. And he is just snoring quite contently from the looks of things.
Given that we basically just walked past an entire group, I'm pretty sure he's drunk on hooch at this point rather than actual beer.
Probably yes.
Before we wake him up, can Telson or somebody who's better at investigating than me look around and make sure that there's not like a dagger or a hidden weapon around? Just go ahead and look for anything dangerous.
Sure, all perception.
Do we want to wake him up?
I have no clue.
We're doing perception?
Well, I think the idea was generally that you were going to try and interrogate him.
Yeah, well, there's
Yes,
integrity. I'm
but-
actually look down this hallway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure he doesn't have like a knife hidden somewhere, so when we wake him up, that he doesn't just start stabbing.
Well, if he's starting stabbing, I don't think he's gonna be the drunken master of the East Wind here.
He is actually a perfect drunken fist commander.
Ermina sees nothing.
Yeah.
Honestly, less than nothing. Oh goodness.
Amina's distracted. In fact, un momento, por favor. Just give me a second.
She stepped in something.
No. Okay, Lorelei's got perception. I'll give you that in a second.
We see nothing but darkness. We have encountered the fabled edge of the map.
Indeed.
This isn't
There's
just
nothing
normal
else there.
This is advanced darkness.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
She probably tripped over the small dog and fell.
No. I'm gonna give you something.
Honestly, we
It's
probably
just-
tripped over each other.
Also,
There we go. Amina is distracted by what is possibly the largest mushroom she's ever seen.
Jesus Christ!
I was gonna say that is the largest mushroom I've ever seen. I think it was huge.
There you go. There's just a gigantic puffball of a mushroom in the corner, and it looks rather concerning. It looks red and inflamed and pustular. Lorelei, you cannot see any weapon on this man at all. At best, what you can see is what may have once been a knife that's just been blunted and dulled by age and use. It's barely more than a fucking nub of metal. Probably the most threatening thing he has at hand is the hooch bottle that he's been drinking from, and even that is not immediately to hand. It's a good few inches away from him.
Okay. In that case, once Ramina's done with her mushroom,
Totally
recommend
getting
licking
a
it.
sample.
I would like to nudge the bottle away from him, take the blunt into my spear, and poke him in the side.
I sleep You guys saw me sleeping down here. Because I was like sleeping in a shit pile.
And poke him again.
What? What?
You.
What? Oh. Hey.
I have questions for you.
Come and sit down here and ask me some questions, pretty lady.
Oh God.
I'm going to bare my teeth at him. I'm hoping he mistakes it for a smile.
Ah, feisty.
When face the wall.
when is looking embarrassed and traumatized by this. Giselle just kind of snorts.
Which way is the way out of here?
What's your hurry, pretty lady? You don't wanna. Where's my bottle? Where's my drink? Did you
You'll
take
give
my
it
drink?
back when you tell me which way is the exit.
Oh, well, you wanna get out of here? You're gonna. There's a bridge. You go over the bridge. And you go down the hole. And there's more shit. And then you turn left. And then you turn, and he kind of brings up his hands and looks at him. And you turn right. And you turn right again. And then you can go left or right. Or then you could turn around and go behind you. There's a lot of ladders out of here. But you gotta go down first.
Okay, I think we have our answer.
Where's my drink?
Indeed. I'm going to go ahead and push his bottle back towards him, and I'm going to hand him a copper.
A what?
Brass penny, sorry.
He's gonna take the bottle and he's gonna look at the brass penny. He's, hey, you don't have to be. Oh, hey, you all friends? You all Penny? Penny, sir? You all more Penny?
See what you
enjoy
did,
spinning.
Lorelai?
Leave you alone.
I'm just going to leave him.
Sigmar blesses the hardworking and curses the indigent.
Sigmar's good. He'll give you a thumbs up, Aldemar.
Drunk bomb.
Go to swig from his bottle and it's empty. Oh, fucking rats drink my booze again. Fucking rats. Everywhere. Hey,
Any ca-
see any rats? I'm
What
hungry.
type of rats?
Hide small
Rats.
dog.
Squeaky. Eat your cheese.
Oh, no, we haven't seen any rats around.
No, we
I'm gonna hide the small dog so he doesn't eat Cabernog.
Actually,
Now-
no. As much as it sounds weird to think about it, but we haven't actually seen any sort of little rats around here.
Mm.
They
Oh,
would
this
be
guy ate
food.
all of them.
No, I don't think he ate all of them. You know what? You know one thing Skaven like to eat?
Mhm.
Other rats?
Everything.
Small rats.
Wait, are they cannibalistic?
Absolutely,
they're not-
yes.
Also, they're not.
No.
They're technically not. Well, yeah. One, they are cannibalistic, but the other thing is they are not the same species as
Yeah.
normal rats.
They are not normal rats.
But to be fair, they'd
sorry,
also eat
sorry.
each other to give them the chance.
My
As long as-
Skaven biology is not up to date, and I apologize for that.
Well, you're probably the most learned of us after cutting one open.
I can tell you what makes
And-
the big ones tick and stop ticking.
Giselle mentions as she walks through. Altdorf has one of the largest rat catching guilds in the Reikland. We may not see many of them, and she kind of gestures to the rat that is half eaten or mostly eaten in front of the bum, who's still begging you all for pennies, by the way. There seem to be some down here. They don't seem to be completely bereft.
Sigmar provides, he provides himself. Bye.
This is how
Well-
doesn't help themselves, really?
Well spoken, Goodman, Layman, and Thornpocket. Come along.
Was there nothing down
Ah.
that right-hand passageway?
Well, nobody looked.
I was over there looking.
Yeah,
well,
it
I
was.
mean,
Nelson and the ninja were over there.
well, yeah. I mean, sorry, you went. Sorry,
Yes,
Okay,
but
there
according
is
to this
actually
guy-
a path.
there is a path
According to
there.
this-
Yes.
But according to this guy, that's not the way out.
And I trust the drunkard.
Interesting things. Loot.
Yes, there may be a chest down there. You should go look.
Honestly,
Loot
given how much
or
most of us actually have, it actually
rats.
probably would be a better upgrade.
But this
Has-
was-
That's a good point.
His
Do we wanna
Sigma
check that
blesses.
or do we wanna-
Sigma blesses you people. Especially if you give a copper. Ready? Alright, yeah, so well, you can see the end of the corridor and the tunnel that leads back the way you came.
Except it doesn't connect.
You are correct, yes. That is some fine logic there, Aldemar, for a man who can't see down the tunnel.
Well, given the fact that if the bum could have left, he probably would have left easily
Well,
by now. So.
Yeah.
I'd suggest we follow the drunkard's although we go down here anyway. Fuck it, let's explore.
Alright. Alright, everybody go for a wander. Alright, and
Where's
you
the
are
time?
correct, it's a dead end.
And down here.
Well,
I think
No.
yeah, sorry, that's a wall.
There's a wall there.
You just face
Towson.
Talson just phased through the wall.
What possible purpose does this thing serve?
Drainage.
Anyway,
All right, walking back through.
Indeed. Yeah.
but no, it's Ranald that is the likes beggars and all that. Sigmar does not.
No, I know.
I know.
So-
For everyone else.
Reynolds has many good fences. But
I
that
was
Doug
almost
will tell
tempted to take out a wine bottle, but cast Purify Magic on it, so it's just water.
Well, you could. That's up to you, man.
If
Ah,
he's
yes,
a
the
true
best place to
drunkard, he'll
explode would
still
be down
get
in the sewers.
drunk on water. That's the sad part is an alcoholic can get drunk on water.
Given Falcon is maybe wide, but he's still less light than everyone else. He's going first.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how rickety is this bridge?
It's pretty rickety. You're
Is it like
looking-
it looks?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's got ropes on both sides, and I will get someone to roll me perception awareness.
All of us or just one of us?
Just or anyone who can see the bridge.
To Towson and Lorelei right now.
I was thinking, I rolled
said-
perception today.
Perception?
Yep. Okay. All right. Aldemar, you will notice that the ropes on either side of the bridge actually seem to be relatively recently applied. They don't have the kind of rot and fungal growth that you would expect from a bridge like that.
Interesting.
What does it
People have
mean?
been coming. Well, we know this bum at least has been coming by here recently. Who else? Who knows? Thieves, possibly. Regardless, though, we should trust our weight to the ropes and not the planks.
And go one at a time.
Especially not this plank.
Or this plank.
What plank?
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, there is still a little bit of plank there. But yes, okay, so you're close enough you can see down this way a bit further. And
How
see
far
that,
across
yes.
is this bridge?
Let me have a look. I mean, it's the measurements are. Well, there you go.
So like 30 feet, 20 feet, 25
Yeah.
feet.
Roughly something. It's
Yep,
about
and yes,
8 yards, 7 yards.
We should definitely cross one at a time, not put much weight on it.
Mhm.
And try to stick towards the edges.
Mhm.
Falcon's actually going to take out his crowbar and tap each board as he starts moving across, just to make sure it's
Alright.
still lightly tapped.
Yep, that's fair.
Just to make sure it's not going to break as soon as I step on it.
The solid planks feel like they are relatively solid. They're not the best quality wood. Obviously, they've been salvaged from barrels and crates, and probably from the boat yards. But they are solid enough. The ones that span the entire bridge. The couple of broken ones, you get the feeling were kind of busted when they first got here because the breaks look quite old. So like they were kind of put in place and then broke pretty quickly. The rest of it seems to be okay, but you're probably wise to not trust the entire group to the bridge at the one time.
Mm-hmm.
And from behind you, echoing through the sewers, you start hearing the sound of an old drinking song echoing off the walls.
Well, talking
Okay.
across.
All right. So you would have basically seen that this all kind of curves off around the edge.
We could reach it, but I don't think we really want to try and jump to that.
The pit
Right.
beneath you looks like it's probably about 4 or 5 yards deep. Like, as in to get down to where the water level is. You don't know how deep beneath that the water goes. You also don't know if there's any drain or suction beneath it.
But presumably, if there's
That's a
water
thick-
pouring into it, unless it's filling up, it has to be going down somewhere.
Indeed.
I'm going to follow behind Talson.
All right.
Alton's going to get to at least the end of the hallway and take a look.
No problems. Okie dokie. So basically, in order to rest you all assured, as long as you go one or no more than 2 light people at a time, then the bridge will not break. If you
Oh,
start
that's
trying to pack like 3, 4, 5 of you on, then it's going to cause problems.
simple enough.
So Giselle will remain behind and wait for you all to get across. And Talcon, looking around, we'll see probably about this much of the room ahead.
Still nothing. Moving around.
Okay, move around. Looking down. There's yet another one of these little drainage ducts where the sewage pours out of a pipe and then trickles off down grates to some unknowable beneath.
Fucking rat.
Unfortunately, you can't make rats smaller than a square, so that will represent a couple of rats splashing around and playing in the sewage.
Sure.
Thankfully, this time at least there's little grating bridges across the gap.
Everyone's across, so our friendship as well.
Yep.
And then we destroy the bridge.
Okay. All right.
Talson do his
Okay.
thing.
Talson doing the stuff.
Though I think this is elevated and this is a stair.
Yeah. If you go that side, you're gonna have to. Well, you're gonna have to climb over the pipe and then over the edge.
Oh,
I
let
guess
me
he
move
looked under the
Kirpin up.
pipe for hidden treasure.
The rats go splishy splashy as you go past them. And as you went past this, you would have seen through that there is another pathway through there.
These sewers without the word need.
I mean, it's a
Well,
city.
A lot of
Yeah.
dudes.
Alright, you can see that way, and if you look down this way, Talcon, roll stealth for me again, please.
Oh, I love that. Why won't you ever click anymore? I have to click enter on it now for some reason now. I have to
That's
click
okay.
and then press enter.
That's been a thing like the last. Like it worked fine like the first couple of sessions, but then
It might be something to do with the UI upgrade. Alright, you actually got better than them. As you peek around the corner, you'll see a man and a relatively young looking girl, and they seem to be scrabbling and fossicking amongst piles of refuse and rubbish down here. Their backs are towards you and they're just talking quietly while they pick up bits and pieces. You're not entirely sure what they're picking up. It's not easy to see, even with your night vision. You can see that there is the tunnel directly ahead of you that leads off into another area. you can see down here that there is a tunnel just behind them, and another set of stairs and a little raised platform that leads off to a third tunnel this way.
Hmm.
We need to head down this tunnel, based on what the drunk said.
Scavengers. At least what Falcon's noticed. He's gonna say.
How many?
2 scavengers are digging around in trash, looking for things.
No concern of ours. If they are foolish enough to make trouble against 9 against 8 armed people and a fearsome hound, then that would be their last mistake.
I was wondering what you meant by 8, but then I realized you weren't counting win. So yeah.
Actually, no. I didn't count Giselle because she wasn't on my screen.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was busy clearing stuff off. Actually, I will give you all control of Giselle as well, just so that you can move her with you, because she's basically going to bring up the rear because she's got the crossbow. So if anything comes up behind you, she can shoot it, or if anything comes ahead in front, she can also shoot it.
Oh,
Providing you
Lomer.
get your heads out of the way.
I see what you're doing there.
Oh.
Now, she's Giselle Lomer, not Giselle Loner. No relation.
Think which Taka is going to try and sneak by though.
Alright, fair enough. Okay.
Lorelei has a black line through her. Fog of war.
She's been censored
Oh, yeah.
very poorly.
Hey, well, there you go.
Had to
No more
censor-
Pokeball. Alright.
Had to censor her nose.
Alright, and then you looking around the corner. Haha.
Okay,
Hey.
so... Oh, hey, a ladder.
Mm.
Freedom.
Do you trust what the old man said, or do you go for the closer ladder?
I vote we trust the old man. That ladder is way too goddamn close to the palace.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, drunkard bum probably pretty good at dodging the law, so he probably knows how to go out to dodge the law.
He also
I
said
vote
we
we
had to
go
go
out
down before we go up.
Oh, that is true.
Wait, is that where we would have gone down if we went down from the prison?
No, you're kind of not in the you've kind of moved away from where the prison was.
Alright. Let's head past the scavengers and walk casually.
Indeed.
We're gonna have to walk past them to get up to that thing unless we want to climb the silver gate.
Correct. Since I'd rather not murder them for no reason, let's just be on our way and hope
Right.
they're not stupid.
When they see like 9 people.
Indeed, and as you all start moving through and they hear your footsteps and just the sounds of you moving, the girl will make a little sort of shriek of surprise, and the man will turn around and kind of hurry and push her behind him and watch you all as you go past.
Let's go past.
Are we going down or are we going down?
I'd say, I'm going on the
Invoke.
side. I'm going on
Bye-bye.
the side there, just because otherwise I don't want to climb up a ledge. I want to use the stairs.
You can always.
Oh yeah, we do have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured we could walk across the refuge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
can
care
do that.
about walking through shit.
Mm.
Fine.
He's going to sort of look more nervous as you all approach and push her further back into the corner. Just, we don't mean you any bother, sirs.
Then we
It's
won't
fine, we're
have
just
any
entering.
bother.
Nor we you. Be out of. Give us
Lift me.
make way for us, and we'll be on our way.
And they'll nod and kind of just cower back in the corner even further.
You left me behind. Why'd you not lift me?
Gonna go there.
Damn you.
Oh wait, you wanted to? Hey, I was gonna say, if
Ow.
you want
Alright.
to lift, I will 100% carry you on my shoulders. You're tiny.
I'll just pull you
Alright,
up from
so you're
here.
back.
Just get up here.
Yep. All right, so you'll all be able to see down the path.
I'll just pull you up from the ledge.
Thank you.
Damn it.
All right,
Sigmar.
and
Sigmar, bless your wretched lives.
Sigmar, bless yours, sir. Yep. Just hoik him up by the back of his collar.
Just grab the hood and just
Moving forward.
Now toss the halfling.
Indeed. Alrighty. So, yep, you have a nice big open area here, and the sound of rushing water that had started to die off behind you has picked back up again. And it is loud.
I don't like this room.
You
With a bunch of
see,
trash.
yes, and in the trash you can hear squeaking and rustling and various noises of enterprising rodents going about their rodenty lives. Kebanog is absolutely thrilled. He rushes ahead of you all and dives into the trash pile.
He's a
God,
happy puppy. Happy
Well, the
puppy.
plus side, Theobald never wants to get a job here. It seems like he's gonna have plenty of prey.
Mhm.
Falcon is going to walk around the gigantic trash pile.
Just
yes,
ambush.
in very short order, you will see that the dog has quite happily tossed several rat carcasses out of the pile to present proudly at Theobald's feet.
I'm sure
Well, I presume-
Theobald will put him on his rat pole.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't see
You
why
are
he
a
would.
good dog.
Good dog. Who's a good
His
doggy?
puppy.
Who's a good
Alrighty.
doggo?
And up that goes around the corner.
Gonna,
Well, I know where that leads, at least.
Yep.
There is no bridge. Falcon is going to realize.
Doesn't matter. We can get around down. Actually,
Yeah,
I'll
down
pass.
that.
One-
The
It's a
water
grate.
is rushing pretty fast, and that is a grate. You could probably clamber across using the grate, but you would have to you'd have to use strength to make sure you gripped on and weren't rushed away.
Okay, so there's no good way to go about this.
You could try digging in the refuse pile to see if there was something you could use to bridge the gate.
I see a
the gap.
gigantic thing like right there.
That in and of itself is set dressing.
Time to roll perception to find things.
Let's
I was
see
about
what
to
we
say,
find.
Plan impromptu build a bridge seems like a good way for some of the heavier characters to fall into the water and get swept away. I, as one of the heavier characters, do not support this plan.
Well, plan dig through the refuse sounds like a good way for most of us to get tetanus.
That is
That
also true.
too.
Honestly, we're in the medieval era. We're gonna get something anyway. So
Yeah,
pick your poison.
I was saying, I made the comment before, I was talking to someone else, like, I wonder how many disease rolls we're gonna have to make after we get out of the sewer.
But don't worry, if any of you get scratches, I will set you on fire and it will be fine.
That,
Hey,
this
on the plus side, we've got at least 3 people that have medical skills. We should be fine.
should be.
Well, okay.
Solid
Let's try and find.
Mhm.
Let's try and find some garbage.
Well, the
Maybe
other
the-
option is either to jump it or try and climb across the grate, which I.
Neither
As
one's
a
a good
plan
option.
to,
At the very least, we should check our options, basically, to see if we have any others before we jump in.
as I told
Maybe
they're
we'll
doing
find
that,
some good shit.
I'm gonna grab Halson and
Alright.
No!
suggest that he. I'm not gonna toss you. And
All
I
right.
say- when I say grab, I mean like the familiar sense, not in the physical sense. You'll know if I
Oh.
physically grab you. And
hang on a
recommend
second.
that
Gonna grab Tulsa. No!
You already mentioned had tossed the halfling before, so yeah, my first thought was that.
Talston, it's
And
the
I
only
understand-
way you ever win at Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
Once again, I understand the nervousness, but no, it's just going to suggest that we look a little bit up to the right to see if there's maybe cross, like up
Oh.
or around to the right.
Oh, you mean up the. Just look up there? Alright, sure.
Because
Yeah.
that pipe on the right hand wall, you might be able to crawl under it.
Oh, wait, there's a
Whoa,
sewer
really?
grate.
I could
There
just
is a
walk under
sewer.
it.
There's a sewer grate beneath it.
Supposed to go down before going up.
What?
Am I misremembering what he said?
Well, no, he
No,
did
that's
say
exactly what
that,
he said.
but
We're just looking up here.
He
He's
also
also
started
challenging.
trailing off towards the end as I going, oh, you go
Okay.
left, you go right.
Yep, this goes nowhere. We need to cross.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
And
However,
there's no smaller section either.
if that was Owen's perception roll to find something in the pile, you do find a nice big plank of wood. Look at that.
It's not
Well, I
long
mean-
enough.
What I,
Turn around.
is that we need
Still
to
not
go
long enough.
deeper
yeah.
underground.
Whee! I mean, yes, it is actually long enough. It's just that, again, the limitations of the map and the
Good
way
man,
that
Erwin.
Roll20 makes things apply, but yes.
Fetch that plank of wood. We require a bridge.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So,
What's Amina doing perception
No. Seeing if there's anything else in there that could make it a bit more sturdy.
for? Let's
'Cause-
have a look here.
One plank of wood isn't necessarily going to be the most sturdy of bridges for all of us to cross. Even one
Let's
at
see,
a
do I have
time.
anything in here that'll... Nope. Nothing in this bag that'll help with this. Oh yeah, I got rope.
also, when the drunk said that we should go down before we go up, is that I got the idea that we should go deeper for ascending. So go further down into the, lower sewers before we go up.
That's why
You
we're
know
looking
what-
over here rather than going up that ladder.
Can I cast Blessing of Hardiness on this plank of wood?
You know, while Talkin's thinking, we could have just asked those scavengers back there, how the hell did they get down here?
Jumped, I guess.
Oh,
Uh,
they took the other ladder.
Or they took the ladder.
I'll allow it, but it's going to be a difficult roll. It's going to be a -20.
Minus 20 on the blessing. Okay.
Your god does not approve of this wood.
Well, we require its use.
Just don't fuck up.
Sigma,
Just say.
Sigma says no.
Sigmar said
Rerolling
no.
that.
Still
He
a
still
failure.
said no.
Sigma says no.
Okay.
The plank feels relatively solid. It doesn't feel rotten. It doesn't feel splintery. It's pretty broad as a plank of wood goes. It's more of a sheet of wood than a plank. So you get the feeling as long as someone was holding each side of it, people could very carefully sidle across.
So I couldn't find anything else to make it
no, there was-
sturdier.
Not really anything else. There's a few scraps of rope and some cloth, scraps of cloth. Most of this refuse seems to be it seems to be rotted food, fetid kind of fungus and things. You'd suspect that some of the larger pieces were originally dumped by scavengers and the rest has been kind of brought over and built up as an extended rat's nest.
All right, let us Telkin
Okay.
cross.
Hold on.
How
If
about
we
we
need
test it
somebody
with-
to hold if we need someone to hold both sides of the thing, why don't either myself or Erwin strength our way across the grate, and then have one of us strong folk hold the plank?
That's a potential.
And then we could just have Talson on the other side once everyone else is crossed. He stands on one side and you just flip it and it's a halfling catapult.
Or we toss him a rope and just yoink.
Yeah, I like halfling catapult better.
Or we can half a bolt him, that's fine. But yeah, I'm gonna try to go across using the grate and basically strength my way across.
All right.
That was out of character, Seb.
Close.
That's close. Do you want to reroll of this?
Probably.
To get any bonus from gripping the crate? Having a
I'll give you a +10 after your fingers slip the first time and you start to realize you're suffering the potential of being washed away. I'll give you a +10 to grip the grate.
Okay.
Grip the grate.
Nope.
Okay. Lorelei.
Grab the
Um,
plank of wood.
Yeah. I will get you to, you slip in the water. And you get to be washed
try and-
downstream a ways before Erwin gets a chance to try and grab you. So try to grab.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. So just
Do you have? I was gonna say if you have athletics, then yeah.
A conga line of saving.
Ah!
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get pulled in. So watch this.
Thomas does not give a shit about it, Lorelei at this point.
I'll spend fortune reroll.
Yep.
The funny thing is, athletics goes off agility instead of strength.
Yeah, well, my athletics is better.
Well, this is all about being able to get down and grab her quickly enough as well. Okay. No, so
Yeah.
that's Lorelei.
Aldemar will do his best.
All right, Aldemar. Yep.
Even though Aldemar doesn't necessarily
Oh,
care
God.
for her.
Reroll.
Can I attempt a swim check to see if I can like
Everything.
push myself out?
I'll give you an opportunity now that a couple of people have grabbed at you and failed. I'll give you an opportunity now that you've kind of got your bearings a bit to try swimming to see if you can swim up and grab the edge at least so people can haul you out.
Wait,
It's more
is
like
swimming-
flailing, because it's just an advanced skill, so it's basically you're going to be using athletics or something at a penalty.
Fuck! I was about to say, what's swim even based off of?
Probably.
Okay, if you don't have
But
swim
if-
trained, it's going to be a minus 20 athletics check because it is rushing quite fast.
Just like reading and writing in this age, swimming is basically something you got to learn.
Yep.
Oh,
Really?
Oh, so close, Lorelei.
That's the 9th test we've failed in a row.
I know this is Sigma doesn't want Lorelei out of that water.
never mind.
Wow. Dawson grabs you and pulls in.
Unless,
Oh, oh.
yeah, unless you re-roll that.
Nope, re-rolling that. Not falling in the river either.
Oh.
Oh Christ!
That's 10th failed roll. Do we get an 11th?
Yep.
Well,
There
that's
it
another failure, but all right.
At least Talk
do
gets
I-
the fall in.
Do I have time to cast Blessing of Might on one of these people down here?
I'll allow it. Yes, you can choose who you want to chance grabbing her. You've got Theobald,
Theobald's
got
the next
Amina.
in line.
you've got Giselle, or you've got Thomas.
Oh wait, no, it won't matter. It'll matter when they grab him, but
Yeah.
Blood is based on agility, which I can't do because that's Blessing of Grace.
Ah, okay.
It's for more agility.
Well, if you
Alright.
give Theobald Blessing of Might with strength, his strength is the same as his agility, so he could probably brute force wrench her up.
Yeah, I'll allow that.
All right, Aldemar. Okay, come on.
Come on,
Come on,
Aldemar.
buddy.
You can do it.
You can do this. You
Yeah.
prayed.
Broke the cycle.
All right. All right. So as you go sweeping past down, and that was on Theobald, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you go
Sigmar,
sweeping
Left
past
hand for strength.
Theobald, can someone roll for Theobald and see if he can do this with the strength?
He gets a.
Someone who has
Reroll.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't.
Oh,
Hey! We
Alright,
did it!
You're splashing and flailing around in the water, Lorelei. You think for a moment that Talson's going to reach in and grab you, and he almost overbalances and nearly topples in. And you see your life flashing before your eyes. Tal is not happy with you being underground in this city. And then out of nowhere, two strong rat-catching hands dive into the water and basically grab you by your furs and arrest your progress. And between the two of you, you're able to scramble out of this rushing deluge of water. You are wet, you are soaked. This water is not actually sewage, it is water, but it's not
Rain.
clean water.
second bath
It's
I've had this week.
Carbinox just yipping at you, dancing around like, oh, you went swimming. Can I go swimming?
He seems very happy that you're out of the water. He's yipping and barking, and he's doing a walk.
Right, who wants to go next?
Tap the ball on the shoulder and tell him thanks.
You know, just hold this plank in house and we'll try and walk across it. Because we're gonna have to do this again eventually, and I bet
Yes, go.
Takuya is not going to walk. He is going to kneel on it and crawl.
Okay. Okay, I will allow Talson to kneel and crawl across the plank. It's sturdy enough that definitely he can do that and get across to the other side.
Ah, I made it. I'm
Ah.
alive.
Yeah, he's still
no.
alive.
Small dog just yips across.
Yeah, Cabernog can easily bounce across if anybody wants him to do that.
Hey, dog.
Alright, I'll go ahead and hold this side and let everybody else get across.
Alton will hold the other side as well.
Alright.
I guess Erwin will go.
Yep.
Do I have to roll anything or do I just go?
No, you just go. As long as you're not trying to like run across it. If you're going carefully, then you're okay.
Sure. Okay, everybody, let's go. Hold this and
Okay.
she holds that end.
No, women and children first. Go ahead, Aldemar.
You make your movement in feet without having to take a test.
Sigmar
Yeah,
will not rise to such petty bait.
Are you looking for leaping?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, it's 6 feet. It's a little bit too far for me to have to jump.
Yeah. I'm more seeing if. Nope. There goes Giselle.
Oh, did she go?
No,
She tried to
Giselle.
leap.
Oh, god damn it.
All right.
Alright.
Conga line.
If you feel I got it.
Fuck.
Oh god damn it, Giselle.
Giselle, she tried to leap and she didn't make it.
Conga
Do not
line.
show off. No, you're cool. Oh god.
Oh, here we go.
Reroll. You cost me a fate point.
Oh, God! Oh, no.
Damn it, Giselle.
Alright,
God damn
Sigmar,
it.
save me.
hold on. I'm gonna try to grab Adelmar. Somebody else try to grab Giselle.
Oh god, this is gonna be a
Wait,
fucking
hold on. Since I'm
fuck-up
immediately next to
cascade.
Adelmar, can I like try to grab him before he falls in? Like just yank him back by his collar?
I'll allow it if you can pass an agility check. Yes.
Agility check? Fucking A. Alright.
It's reflexes. She's testing you.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey. Okay, Aldemar, you don't go in the water.
Sigmar, save me. Thank you, Sigmar. Save me.
He saved me through the actions of this heretic.
You know what? I'm pushing him in the water.
You're not. You said you saved him.
Oh,
I
oh,
changed
wow.
my mind.
Oh, God.
hold on.
I'm choking on my coffee.
Thanks,
Okay.
Giselle.
She has actually got swimming, however, so she does manage to kind of get control of herself and at least grab the edge. So you can pull her out just before she sweeps under the plank.
Yeah, let's grab her.
The power of the swimming check.
I just get
Sigmar
across.
did
It's the power of natural obstacles. They are so much worse than any enemy.
it. Mhm.
Yeah,
Gravity will make you dead.
Talson, make way on this side. Go scout.
Dark
As soon
Heresy.
as I can learn the magic,
Dark Heresy version 1, that wall of death.
you know, as soon as
Yeah,
I
sure,
can get
Talson.
arcane magic, I am learning how to cast bridge.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Anyway, Takuya's going to explore while hopefully not hearing anyone else fall in.
Yep.
Yeah, so
All right.
everybody else across the bridge, one at a time. Go, go, go.
Yeah. As long as you go across slowly and carefully, you will make it across. And Giselle will wait until the rest of you have crossed.
Can we make sure someone gets a win across safely? Yay.
Okay. I'll just reveal all the rest of this. So basically, you've got a couple of ladders to get you out of the sewers. You basically can pick your poison.
I
Well, I
only
don't
see.
think we want to go back the other way.
Let's say I only see one ladder, and this ladder is harder to get to, so I'm guessing it's better.
I meant you've got two ladders, as in the one back where you first saw the first ladder to get
Yeah.
out of there, and then this ladder.
And that's also smaller than the other one. That's a much larger ladder and well lit.
I am confident enough in this ladder to bet Thorn Pocket's life on it.
Now we
Like,
see.
your pocket's going up.
Now we see what
My-
he thinks you're worth.
Okay, I have to pause here for a second, and I have to say that my favorite part of the interactions between Aldemar and Thorn Pocket are where Aldemar says something and Thorn Pocket's response is like, "Wait, what?
Yeah. Wait, what?
Wait, you're doing what to me now?" All right. So, Thorn Pocket, you will climb up the ladder, and at the very top of the ladder, it's quite a high one. At the very top of the ladder, there is a rickety kind of trapdoor. And you push up on it, and it seems to move relatively freely. It does give a little bit of a creak and a groan of rusted hinges, so it sounds like it hasn't been used a hell of a lot in recent memory anyway. And you peek up above, and you're in. It's not really a sewer system. From what you can see, it looks like brickwork and cellars.
We're not free yet. Brickwork and cellars. I think we're somewhere.
It's not lit, so it doesn't look like a used area. In fact, it's darker than the sewers because you don't even have that bioluminescent fungus.
Still got night vision.
Yeah, so you can see, but you can also tell that the others are going to have trouble unless they have a light source.
Our only way out is forward.
Talca's gonna move up through the ladder. Goodbye,
Alright.
everyone.
Right, yep, so Talcon is in the darkness.
Enhanced darkness.
Indeed.
That's
In fact,
also
yes,
hard.
one of you will have to be carrying a torch at all times. But yes. And yeah, Lorelei, do you have night vision, Lorelei?
No.
Yeah, so you'll lift the trapdoor and poke your head up, and it will just be dark as fuck. You can't see shit in there.
Telson, what
Yep.
do we got?
Looks like a cellar.
Right. Did anybody bring a torch?
I have candles.
I've got a candle. What, you can't see?
We have a living candle.
You literally have a man who can set himself on fire.
I'd rather
There's a
not.
wizard after you.
Someone will need to help Cabernog up the ladder.
I got him. I can carry him. I have a sling bag I can stick him in.
Mm-hmm.
I can just like put him on top of my head like a little hat.
Okay,
He
let's go
wiggles
ahead
too.
and just-
Have you ever tried putting a small dog on your shoulder? They wiggle too much.
Actually,
Oh, you
my
did-
old dachshund would just kind of lay there. Like she was just like, "All right, this is my life now."
All right, so yes,
Oh, you do have
Thomas.
lights though.
So Thomas's left leg is now shining like a torch.
Nice.
Yep, okay, yep. I am going to agree with you 1000%. Agree.
I'm gonna say I can choose the location of it.
No,
It says left
no,
leg.
No. GM ruling. The spell says your left leg is glowing. Your left leg is glowing.
Okay, so I'm not a very good wizard.
Oh Christ!
Spit
You
up
have
blood.
to pull your robes up to expose your I suppose that gives a new meaning to flashing a bit of anger.
That's a
Don't worry, if their dark vision's kicked in, I can blind them.
Anyway, yes. You all successfully make it up the ladder. And as you get up into the dark brick and the dark brick lined and rather dank and dusty cobweb draped area, Giselle's going to look around. And then she's going to kind of huff to herself. And I'm going to move you all back over to the general Altdorf map because I don't have a map for this area. So rest assured, you won't have combat. And you will, she'll sort of look around to the light of Thomas's left leg.
I
Which
can't
is murdering
breathe.
there.
You guys are horrible.
I think this is old Altdorf.
Old Altdorf? Is it New Altdorf?
Yes, this city has been sacked and razed so many times, and they simply build over the top of the ruins.
Old
I can
Altdorf or
breathe
new, I
now.
believe our primary concern is getting out of Altdorf.
I can
Indeed.
breathe. Kind of.
Well, we can look at Giselle for what to do next.
Yes.
Where is she, by the way? Oh, there she is.
There she is. Yes, there she is. All right, and so yes, I need to see if she has actually got that as a skill. Bear with me a second.
What's your next step in your master plan?
I need to report back to the Lady Nacht. It's up to you if you wish to go back there yourselves, or if you wish to just simply leave Altdorf and find somewhere to hide and make new lives for yourselves.
Well, I have no intention of cowering while a corrupt noble besmirches my good name and poisons the innermost heart of the empire.
That is an admirable way of looking at things, Brother Aldemar. This may be a path that leads to your death.
It is a noble cause that layman Thornpocket would be happy to give his life for.
See you when we get back to Overstrike, Galdemar.
Thornpocket just leaves. Do any of you have navigation?
Oh, wait, maybe?
It's a basic skill.
Yeah. But do any of you have it as a trained skill at all?
Nope, discard.
Okay. All right.
When have you increased in size? When have you increased in size again?
Oh, for God's sake. Hang on a second.
When stop
know.
growing?
I don't think he has. I'm trying to figure.
No,
No,
he probably has, because that's the old icon for him. Here, look, have 2 wins for a second. There you go.
They're multiplying.
There you go. That
God,
win has
so
been
many wins.
fixed. All right, let's see if you can navigate your way out. Let's see if Giselle can navigate your way out. Is anyone assisting with navigation?
Don't have
Can-
trained
We have to have it trained to assist.
Navigation. I don't have that at all.
I
Okay.
don't either.
All right.
Leadership. You can
Who
spend a
needs
leader to
direction when
navigate.
you have faith?
Indeed. So that means that you are going to spend a bit longer than, well, perhaps you may have needed to, wandering around in the darkness, finding your way through this maze of what was previously earlier generations of Altdorf. Some of it seems to have been cellars, some of it seems to have been external walls, and even streets that you find the remnants of. You see windows that lead to nowhere, doors that open onto subsided mud. Not subsidized mud. I don't know what subsidized mud is. Apparently it's government-sponsored mud. Who knows?
Brick making.
and slipped foundations and all of those things. And it's a long trek. You feel like you're going around in circles at various points, but eventually you find that I'm going to ask for a perception roll for me.
Oh, perception! Yay!
Yay!
Are we technically outside now? It doesn't matter.
Yeah. You could be, depending on how successfully you've gotten through this, but you may also be under a different building. All right, Aldemar and Amina, you both start to smell. Actually, you start to smell the smell of Altdorf. Surprisingly, down here it's not as horrifying as it is up on the surface. And you start to smell the smell of the river and people and shit, basically. And it gets stronger. And Cabernog is starting to run ahead of you and kind of barking back at you all. So you think you might have finally found a way up and out. And as you start to follow the dog and you start to follow your own noses, eventually, yes, you will emerge back onto the city streets of Altdorf. And if you check the city map, which is in your journals, or in the journal, you will emerge somewhere roughly around between, well, in the tenement, or not the tenements, in sort of the streets behind the where it says the Celestial College is on the map, so Mark 10, which also just happens to be a little bit behind the Temple of Sigmar.
Oh. Which is also real close to where we were taken.
It is quite close to where you were taken. However, it is also the middle of the night, and you cannot hear any sounds of alarm having been raised from that direction. You can still hear the shouting and general rabble-rousing from across the river, and if you look in that direction, you can see basically torchlight rising in the night. But there's not sounds of alarm, there's not troops running around the streets. Everything seems to be quite quiet at the moment.
Either they haven't realized where we've left yet, or he's decided not to call a manhunt for us.
Yet.
I don't think he thinks we're that important.
I think he thinks we're very important.
I agree with the man of Sigmar. I think it's more likely that he wants to avoid drawing attention to whatever perfidy this is. The more guards that know about this, the more he has to explain why he is so intent on such an inconsequential group of people.
Yes. But I think it's very important. He's committed the gravest crime in all the Empire. And we are the ones that will indict him.
Indeed. I think we should be getting out of the city as soon as possible.
I can't remember yet.
Well, second gravest. I guess regicide might be higher than treason, but whatever. That's splitting hairs.
Besides, same
You
point.
are-
You can't have one
You
without
are,
the
sp-
other.
you are splitting hairs there, friend. And then she's going to turn and look at Thomas. I'm sorry, wizard. Did you say something?
I said I cannot leave the city yet.
Why?
I have need to return to my college.
Briefly.
Well, then that is a risk you must take alone. I will be leaving immediately. I wish you well in your travels and hope that you manage to stay out from the eyes of the Lord.
Random question. I thought all the colleges of magic were supposed to be in Altdorf. Are the others just like outside the city walls or something?
more hidden?
No, it's more that they're. I think it's more that they're more hidden. I know that there's one of the colleges is outside the city completely. I can't remember which one it is.
The lore of beasts one I know is outside the walls, I believe.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what color that was. The Amber College, I think.
Yeah, I think it
yeah.
might have been Amber, but yeah, it's just more that this map is not the best map. Unfortunately, the best map that it is the best map that exists, but it's not the best map overall. I think though that this also is a map that belongs to a particular adventure.
Wait, we actually were in the. I remember where the Bright College was. That was actually what I remember looking up earlier.
Yeah.
The Bright Order one isn't in main Altdorf. It's basically in an area that's basically was burned down in old Altdorf.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of burnt out ruins.
It's in the slums over to the right of the map that I've got linked in the journal. The Bright College is. So
Yeah,
it's
but
within the walls of Altdorf.
Yeah, no, we know where the Bright College is.
Yeah.
I was just noting that.
The map
And there's
seems to
all-
be missing a number of colleges. Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that college is probably the least subtle thing I've ever seen.
Before Giselle,
Ostentatious is the word I would use.
I mean, it's very unsubtle, but it's also completely underground.
Look, it
mic
at least,
working.
yes.
What was that? Yeah, what was that? Sorry, Alien.
As before Giselle leaves, Evan was gonna
Yeah.
ask what route is she gonna take to Uberstrike? What does she feel is safe?
While the barges are fastest, I can move most unnoticed on foot. A single person travelling on foot is going to be much less noticeable than a group of your size. I may get a coach once I'm out of the city proper.
Hmm.
I wouldn't stay here too long if I were you, or if you are going to stay here, make sure you bury yourselves in the depths of the slums, the places where the nobles and the guards choose not to go.
Can do.
And she'll kind of tug her forelock, as it were, and give you all a nod, and then filter off into the streets.
Mm.
I have need to return to my college. Presumably, you, Audemars, have need to go to the Temple of Sigmar, but after that,
I don't need to go to the Temple of Sigmar. Not anymore.
not even when.
We'll deal with when later. It's risky right now.
Then, aside from my requirement to head to my college, where are we bound?
Might be good to have a place where we can all set up to.
The only sensible place to go is to flee back to Ubersreich, which is my main issue, is that it seems that Giselle is our only possible ticket back to Ubersreich. Because the moment she leaves, we don't have enough money to get back to Ubersreich.
Yep.
What we do if we walk?
Which is why I'm debating in my head whether I let her go or say, screw our wizard, who we're going with her anyway, because she probably has money.
You can always ask her about transportation.
Since she was going to hire a coach and all that, I was not going to beg money from her. I could potentially. We're pretty sure it's just the noblemen. I could perhaps go to the Temple of Sigmar and try to explain our situation and petition them for aid. They might be able to help us, but it's a big risk. But beyond that, I don't know where we can hide, hope for the best, which I don't like, especially not in Altdorf. And if we're going anywhere, the most sensible place to go is Ubersreich, since we know there's the nobility of that city is not hostile to us, and indeed will assist us.
Yeah, but right now we just have the issue of we have one thing that we still need to get done in the city, and then we need to get out of the city, and we're not exactly what I would call sneaky.
Think for yourself, long leg.
Also, part of the thing though is that it is the middle of the night, and generally during the riots, I know to get people across the bridges, especially in the direction of the noble, they might be less likely to have opposition to people wanting to go into the poorer areas.
Yeah, it's still filled with problems, though. The whole thing of having to go to this fucking college is massively complicates our situation. Yes.
Oh, I mean, I can go on my own and meet you somewhere outside the city after.
I'm just going to paste. No, don't paste Wen there. That's not what I wanted. Wen, get out of there. You're not useful.
It doesn't matter if you go to the college, then you're not going to. And if we went with Giselle, you wouldn't be able to catch back up with us, and you'd be completely screwed.
Well, I mean, this is just the problem of you can go basically anywhere and get your fucking trappings to get for you to rank up your thing. I have to go to my college. That's just a fact.
Well, we could try and convince Giselle about our usefulness for cause of Lady Nacht, and try and say that maybe it would be worth it for allow him to get his thing and wait.
Yeah, I mean, she
for a brief
hasn't
moment.
just pissed right off. You still have an opportunity to try and talk to her and try and basically convince her.
Loyally served, and we are glad that she, Lady Noct didn't leave us completely in the shit by sending
Yeah, but
her to
I'm
rescue us.
thinking of, I'm trying to debate from a character perspective because Oliver certainly could. Is he going to debate on behalf of a wizard to help make their life easier?
Well, the wizard has caught a witch for you, so he has had merit. Without him, the witch might have burned
That was
away.
the witch hunter.
But
I found
It was
the
it was
witch.
Thomas it was Thomas and Amina who figured out she was a witch.
it was
That was the point
convinced
he was trying to make.
Yeah,
I know. Giselle.
Yes. You have something to say, Brother Aldemar?
We needed to get back and report this information to Lady Noct as soon as possible. Now all of us are implicated in this affair. These strange enemies, whatever they are clearly committed to keeping their existence a secret by whatever means are necessary. They strike in the shadows and without warning, without honor. Keeping together was the only means by which we were able to thwart them before, and time may come very soon, and is very likely they will be able to intuit or be aware of your connection with this as well. If you travel alone, there is a great risk that, like our stalwart friend Toki Longtread, and they'll find it much more easily to dispatch you, which would further complicate our ability to communicate the situation to Lady Noct. I suggest to not make it as simple for our enemies to assassinate us. We endeavor to remain together. We are humble individuals, but I hope our performance in the task so far, our response to the situation, has demonstrated we are not incompetent. I suggest that we make for Ubersreich together.
She's stopped fully now and kind of put her weight all on one foot as she looks at you while you're talking, and you get the impression she is listening quite closely to what you have to say. I will still get you to roll charm, though.
Time to charm, time to charm.
Ooh,
Very nicely done. She looks between you all and considers what you have to say. I was entrusted with bringing the information back to Lady Noct, not with bringing you back. But you raise some good points. You have been clever and resourceful. You have been very useful. And I must admit, your methods of getting yourselves out of the prison, I had not expected to find you already nearly out by the time I got to you all. You all showed wits and bravery in your own ways. I had expected that to be much harder had the guards discovered what we were up to.
To mention, wasn't Lady Noct first made aware of these goings on by the assassination of another one of her agents, traveling alone on the road?
These are the risks that we take when we serve Lady Noct in her work.
It's not about cowardice to risks, it's about doing all that one can to ensure the task is successful.
Indeed. You make a good point. And while I could move faster and more stealthily on my own, perhaps it is hubris that says I would be able to move faster than the assassins that will surely be coming for me.
They did move pretty fast. Well, no, so?
Are you going to say that in character?
I don't know, actually.
Because if you do say it in character, she'll laugh at that. She will seem to be actually quite amused, and she'll nod. Fair enough. You.
Of course, we don't know that that the speed doesn't really matter because they even have fucking telephones.
Yes. You're a perceptive and a convincing man, Brother Aldemar. There may be some safety in numbers, and perhaps you may all be of future use to Lady Noct. You may yet have some further purpose beyond just reporting what you've seen here to her.
She is the only noble so far that seems to be attempting to do something about this threat, and I believe the threat is only beginning.
Indeed. If her fears are correct, then we may be looking at something incredibly dangerous to all of us across the entirety of the Reikland. And she'll turn and she'll look at Thomas. What exactly do you need to do, Wizard? How long will this take?
I need to check in with my master. It has been some time since I left for Uber's Reich. And out of character, I don't know exactly what would it be entailed with, acquiring my license.
The things on fire are good.
Yeah. Can you
Show
set
me
a
that
fire?
flag.
Yes? Right. Well,
you
I
just walk
presume.
in and say, "I want my license," and they will stamp your papers and say, "Here you go."
Yeah, you'll go. Yes, his left leg has worn off now. It's no longer glowing.
Yeah, it only lasts for like 5 minutes.
That'd be good. It's like, hey, I'm a wizard. It's like, are you? Just hike up your pants, and it's like, ta-da!
Ta-da! Where is your college?
Far side of the river.
Wrong side of the river.
Oh,
Just
let's
toward the east edge of town.
That is that's in the slums. I'm surprised August Wizards would care to sequester themselves there. But
would we be able to hire a coach that would dare travel at night?
that would be incredibly expensive.
In that case, we must wait till morning. The burnt out and abandoned slums surrounding the Bright College might be the most inconspicuous place we hide.
Indeed, you have read my mind, Brother Aldemar. Of anywhere in Altdorf, the last place they're going to, well, the last place that it will bring any attention for them to send palace guards to, that they'd want to bring that attention onto themselves, would be in the slums. We should go. The southeast bridge may be our best chance of getting across the river. As she looks between Thomas and Aldemar, did either of you try and keep your robes clean while you were going through the sewers?
Aldemar took his off, remember?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I put mine back. I said at the very beginning, like, these are fine fucking robes. These are expensive. These are nice. I am not trekking them through a sewer.
I'd say Thomas didn't try and keep his clean, but basically once he was out of the sewers, he just burned them and put on a fresh pet.
Fair enough. And she sort of looks between you and then nods to Thomas. If you lead the way, we may be able just to get the guards to let us through on the excuse that you have college business to attend to and that we're attending you.
And since it is doubtful that the word has been spread about escape. Especially that far afield, we might be able to pass by unnoticed.
Indeed. She'll look back at Aldemar. You may need to go undercover, incognito, Brother Aldemar. They may question why a brother of Sigmar is following along so readily at the heels of a wizard.
Protection.
Making sure I'm not up to anything sketchy.
I don't know, what would I be?
I don't know.
I guess
Do
I-
you
I
have
guess I-
some
I guess I-
regular clothes?
As I said, I could
no,
loan you
I-
my
I-
robes that I don't
I-
fucking use, and you could be a
I-
piece of towel.
I have robes and I have fancy robes.
I was going to say, I presume that everybody apart from Lorelei has at least a change of clothes into something relatively plain that could be considered like work clothes.
I suppose, alright.
I've got clothes and I've got robes.
I'm not sure why
Things of
Aldemar would
clothes.
ever pack and bring clothes that aren't his religious robes as before all this happened. That's what I'm pondering. But sure. Oh wait, no, he does have clothing. He does have clothing.
So
was gonna
whenever
say-
he actually needs to do work that he doesn't want to wear his fanciest robes for.
Right now, he does have clothing because he is an academic.
Yeah.
So yes, I suppose indeed he can remove his religious robes and just pretend to be a academic of some nebulous kind.
Yeah.
He can read and write, and he's got various lores.
And
I need-
you know, Ramita's an apothecary, so you know, she's an academic too.
Yeah, that's true.
I just need to go so I can get some of those candle holsters applied to my shoulders.
I mean, the biggest question is why a priest of Sigmar would be following along with a wizard. That's more the thing. The rest of you, basically, Thomas could just say it's wizard business, and lower class people following along with him would be like, oh, okay. But yeah, Giselle will nod, and if you have something else to change into, Brother Aldemar, it may help us move a little less noticed. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about the presence of a wizard, but
I mean, I also have clothes.
Yeah,
Yes,
but your
but you're
hair's on
a-
fire.
wizard. Mm.
Just because I look like Vegeta.
That's the
Do
thing. Yeah,
wizards
what?
come in inconspicuous?
Yes.
No.
No.
Grey wizards.
Grey wizards
tech-
come in extremely inconspicuous.
I'm about to say, well, technically yes, but I mean, then again, they look like they're freaking,
Mhm.
some sort of like they're Darth Sidious or something. So
Well, Grey Wizards actually do look the most normal out of all the wizard groups, but they still look like. Well, here's an image.
Is Alicia meant to be a full blown grey wizard, or is she just like a hedge witch? I can't remember.
She's
Hedge Witch from Kislev.
Basically, as I said, they look the most normal, at least. If it
Oh, so
wasn't for
they look like the guy from The Hobbit.
Gandalf?
Radagast the Brown.
no, that's more the Amber Wizards.
That's true, actually.
Let's just go to the college now, please.
They look like
Guys,
fucking
let's go
hobos.
sneaking across some bridges.
Oh,
Alright,
never mind.
yep.
The Amber Wizards look like Lorelei,
But yes.
actually.
So yeah, you can make your way through the back streets of the noble quarter of Altdorf. There are patrolling city guard, but they're not patrolling en masse. The riots haven't managed to reach across the river, so what you've got at the moment is basically just your normal sort of 2 and 4 man patrols going about, making sure that the night is quiet and that nobody is up to anything offensive. You do get paused, at least unless you decide to go out of your way to try and avoid the patrols. That's sort of your choice. You can try and duck down back alleys and smaller streets to avoid them if you want, or you can just try and walk past them as if you're out on completely legitimate business for completely legitimate reasons.
I vote legitimate business.
Legitimate wizard business.
So that's what you're going to do if you get stopped by a patrol?
I mean, presumably I don't have like a full-on fledged like magical license to say I'm enacting like proper wizard, but I would have some like papers that basically identify me as an apprentice of the college.
Yes. Yeah,
I
you
basically
definitely do.
And basically, like, flash that, and they could probably tell my appearance as well, but basically just say I'm a wizard business heading for my college.
And yet, none of them seem to be overly concerned by you. They'll just, well, I say not overly concerned. They're still concerned by you in the same way that anyone is concerned by a wizard, because wizards are dangerous and terrifying. But they don't seem to be on the lookout for you specifically to try and arrest you. So,
And I'm not causing any trouble, so they're not wanting to get in my way.
indeed, despite the fact that you are quite a large group, most of you seem to be relatively respectable. The rat catcher is keeping his dog under control, and the hobbit, halfling, sorry.
Our rat catcher is upside down.
Why
That
is the
happens
rat catcher
sometimes.
upside down?
He's been drinking.
Who put the rat catcher upside down? But yes, and your hobbit is staying relatively close to you, so you'll just get a warning that you really shouldn't be out and about late at night. But they'll wish you good luck and send you on your way. And you'll eventually make your way to the riverside. I take it you've steered away from the larger bridge down to the smaller ones down
Yeah,
to the
I'll
southeast.
go to the one, like the furthest one along that's closest to the college.
Yep. And yeah, you'll there's not too many people milling about this bridge. It's one of the smaller bridges, and it's down near the burnt-out rubble area of Old Altdorf. So it's not exactly a place that people like going in the middle of the night. Thomas, that there are rumors and stories about ghosts of the dead people, those who died in the fires, that come out at night and take those who are too busily wandering around. It's probably a story, to be honest, that the Bright College encourages to be spread around. But you'll come across to the bridge, and there's a dozen guards in various states of wakefulness standing on the bridge, looking away from you out over to the slums, and standing leaning on their weapons, chatting quietly amongst each other, and looking pretty damn tired, because it is, well, from what you saw of the great clock as you passed it back in the Noble area, it's somewhere around 3 o'clock in the morning.
Ah, it's the witching hour.
Indeed.
Quite literally. It's
And
just,
tonight you cannot see Mooreslebe.
just me, slowly make my way up to them and on the bridge, leaning on my staff as I walk.
Let's see how sleepy the guards actually are. Because the main bridge, you can see if you look along the river, the main bridge is still basically like a hotbed of contested territory. There's people with torches and guards going back and forth. These guards are not too awake. They're kind of watching the fighting further on, and just kind of yeah. At least we're down here.
I'm glad we're not those guys.
Pretty
They
much.
Just not even bother drawing attention to ourselves unless they actually turn and notice us. Just gonna casually just continue walking slowly across the bridge.
All right. You'll get to about halfway when one of them realizes that you're there and elbows his buddy, and they all kind of ready up and what? Oh, stop! What's your business here? What? One of them's rubbing his eyes. What? You shouldn't be crossing the bridge at this time of night. It's dangerous. There's riots.
That there are, which is why we come this far afield to avoid them. Simply traveling on the business of wizards heading for the college.
College. Oh. You have wizard business.
That I do.
One of the guards will pipe up, "What business brings a wizard out at this time of night?" And one of the other ones will go, "Shh, shut up!"
Too bad Thomas's leg still isn't glowing. He could just raise and flash an ankle.
Just like,
Are you going to be okay over there?
Thankfully, I do not travel alone, and it seems like most of the affairs are further afield from this bridge.
Right. Well, orders are that no one can come across from that side to this side, but nobody said you can't go from this side to that side. So we can let you go, but you can't come back. You have to stay over there till the riots are done. Okay?
Of course.
Hmm.
And we wouldn't want it to seem like you're not doing your job, so we wouldn't try and change that.
Good. Good. We don't want to have to arrest you. All right. Let them through, and they'll kind of part for you and let you cross the bridge. And you are free to go across.
Mhm. Just like call over my shoulder as I walk. Just have a good evening, gentlemen. May the worst of the riots avoid you.
And you, sir. Thank you. No, really. What's a wizard doing out at this time of night? Shh. All right, and you are freely across into the burnt and smoke-stained slums of Altdorf. This part of the city is relatively quiet. It seems that the worst of the riots are all over in the mercantile district. In fact, it would seem that whatever is being rioted about seems to be something that the people the middle class of Altdorf seem to be the most upset about. Those men and women who live in the slums and work in the slums all seem to be tucked happily in their tenements at this time of night. There are no guards patrolling on this side of the river. You are completely alone as you make your way through the streets, heading towards Thomas knows the way unerringly, though the rest of you, as you have followed Thomas down the road, you forget where you're going and why you're going there. And you start getting this thought that, oh, why are we going? We should just go and find a hotel, an inn, and go and sleep. Because what are we even doing following the wizard at this time of night?
What is a wizard doing at this time of night?
Exactly. You should just go back to an inn and go to bed. You don't need to be following the wizard. What is the wizard doing?
I mean, generally outsiders aren't usually brought to the colleges, are they?
No.
Would there be any kind of tavern or anything, even a rundown one in this area that I could point them toward?
Yes, there is. There's a number of drinking establishments that offer accommodation in this area. In fact, there's one that serves the wizards a little ways away, but there's also a number of quite run down, basically slum inns around this area. You can split the party.
Well, I mean, I can't bring them to the college, so if I point them off towards one of the taverns, say, perhaps you might find rest there, and I'll rejoin you at dawn.
Which one looks most likely to have a brawl going on in it? We should go to that one.
Well, to be honest,
All
none
of
of them
them?
look most likely to have a brawl going on at the
3 a.m.
moment
no.
because people are asleep.
Aw.
If you want fighting, you can go over to the mercantile district north of here.
Well, I'm thinking a more controlled environment against drunk people, not in a more riot environment with guys with torches.
You're not going to find that many drunks at 3 a.m.
That's
Well,
where
no,
you
you'll
find
find.
all the drunks.
I was gonna say you'll find plenty of drunks. It's just that
They'll
they're
be
all passed
outside,
out.
they won't be in the taverns.
They're all passed out in the gutters. So yes, but there is definitely an inn nearby, and Giselle will agree that it probably would be for the best. You don't want to interfere too much in the affairs of wizards. For your crunchy and taste good with ketchup. No, that's dragons. And she'll definitely take Thomas's suggestion that you go to an inn. I don't know if anybody else wants to follow. If you want to insist on following along with Thomas.
We're
We're going. Yeah.
Okay.
I got no use for wizards.
I have
You,
no
Thomas?
desire to go into that college.
It's like someone insists on following us. I'll clap you on the shoulder and then I can't sleep.
Indeed. All right. So yes.
What's the wizard gonna do? Like you go to a college, it's like, oh hey, books and shit. That's great.
All right.
Mm.
So yeah, I'll deal with your stuff off to the side at some point, outdoor. But yes, you will get your wizard license. You are a fully ordained and ornamented wizard now, which means that you can level up. The short answer is that your master is quite unhappy to hear that his friend who he sent you to go and see has disappeared. And how much are you going to tell him about what exactly has happened?
I'm gonna try to avoid giving him too much details because at this point I'm not 100% sure on who I can trust.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I'm basically gonna say that when I got there, I found that his friends, like his laboratory seemed to have been raided. Many things have been taken or smashed on the ground, and I could not find him anywhere.
All right. And all right. All right. He will. As I said, he'll be most aggrieved by this. But he'll basically say that he wants to know exactly what happened to his friend. And that he's concerned about who would dare attack his friend. And to that end, he is going to give you your license and basically charge you with going back to Ubersreich to find out what happened, who was responsible, and to basically bring them back to him for justice.
I'll be sure to do everything within my power to do so.
Right? And then, yes, he will let you go once you have everything you need to carry on with your assigned duties.
Which, curiously, the trapping I need is my license, so
Hooray!
I don't even need to find fancy robes. So then I will travel back to the inn where I left the others and join them.
Yeah, so for the rest of you, it's gonna take a little bit of door knocking to actually find an inn that will let you in at this time of night. Normally, the inns are sort of closed up a little bit after midnight once everybody's kind of drunk themselves into a stupor and people have either passed out in the common rooms or been kicked out the door to go and sleep it off in the gutter. So it'll take a little bit of knocking here and there, but you'll eventually manage to find an inn that will open its door to you. And while the innkeeper is none too happy to have been roused, if you're willing to pay for accommodation for the night, he will let you in to basically crash in the common room. He's got no rooms for you, but you can kind of sleep around the hearth and at least be inside where it's dry and not out in the night sky.
Which might be desirable for Lorelei and Giselle.
Mhm.
Huh?
You fell in the sewer.
Yeah. Yeah, Giselle's going to be quite happy to kind of camp down by a banked fire and let herself dry out a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I'm hardy.
That's as well as maybe.
It's like wizard business. I'm crossing the river with two people that look like drowned rats.
Nobody
Yeah, well, business-
questioned it.
Business is important as business. Now, there was something that I needed to...
Once again, second Beth I've had this week.
Now for all those disease checks.
That is exactly what I was looking at. No more. Okay. Do you have to do a disease check after ingesting unclean water?
Ooh.
I'm trying to find that. No, that's corruption. I think that was in the consumer's guide, wasn't it? Food, drink, and lodging. Here we go. Consuming poor quality food or drink comes with a 10% risk of exposure to the to the galloping trots. Alrighty. Giselle and Lorelei, you fell in the water, and because of the nature of what occurred, you were unable to avoid ingesting some of the water. So it is a plus 40 toughness test.
Okay.
Does she have was it
Oh,
fortune or fate or whatever it is? Because she
Oh,
might
that's the
want
question, because normally NPCs don't.
to. She might want to if she has.
Nope, she's gonna suffer from it. Okay, Lorelei, you managed to avoid it. You swallowed some water, but then you've lived out in the wilderness, so you've drunk water that's been probably much more unclean than this. Okay. Yep. And pretty much once you've gotten into the inn and settled down by the fire, those of you in the common room will realize shortly afterwards that Giselle gets up and moves outside in quite a hurry. But you don't know why, so oh no, Giselle.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't
No.
know. I wouldn't have any sort of guess as an apothecary.
So yeah, basically all you know at the moment is that Giselle has gotten up and hurried outside. It's up to you if you want to try and follow her to find out what's going on, whether she's trying to ditch you or what's happening. I will say that 10 is duration.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Ermina's going
That's
to.
probably days.
Ermina's just gonna check out the
I'll-
door.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll get you all to roll perception because it's gonna be an easy check, so it's plus 20 perception check, but you've all kind of been bedding down and dozing off and getting ready to sleep, so whether you notice her hurrying out is a different matter entirely.
Nope.
Then
Even though I said I'd get up and look out
Plus
the door.
20.
oh,
Yeah, Owen, you see this.
oh, where's she going?
You could
guess
follow
I'll go
her,
check.
you could wake everybody up.
Yeah, I'll go check. What's
Alright.
going on.
Not a problem. One thing you'll notice is that she's not trying to be stealthy in the slightest. She's not trying to sneak away or anything. She just hurries out the door and basically round a corner. And that's when, yes, you'll realize that she is basically just tearing down her breeches and unpleasantness is occurring.
Come on, help. No, was it? Which was the goddess medicine, Alicia? No. Shalia.
Shalia, that's it, yeah. He's just going to pray to Shalia for her.
Should I get Emina? She might have something.
That might be a good idea, yes, because she's got a duration of 10 days otherwise.
Oh jeez, yeah, I'll go get Emina.
Okay, yeah. What do you want me to roll to try and get her something to ease up the your
All right,
fuckness?
let's have a quick look here at what you got going on. I'll get you to roll craftsman apothecary first to see if you can make something out of your general
You mean my trade
apothecary
apothecary?
kit.
You mean my
Yeah,
trade?
trade.
Because craftsman is just a talent.
Yeah, sorry, your trade apothecary.
Any?
How about law apothecary?
Yeah, because everybody knows that's gonna work. Do I have any bonuses or just straight up?
I'll give you a plus 10 to this because the galloping trots is a pretty common affliction. Like everybody gets it at some point. Hey. All right, so yeah, so Erwin's come back into the tavern and kind of shaken you awake and basically told you, well, yeah, Hellion, you can tell her what you're going to tell her.
Yeah. Emina, you need to come quick. Something's wrong with Giselle.
Giselle.
I think she's come down with the trots.
Armita's going to get it. Okay, she's gonna get up, grab her medicines and stuff, and start heading out.
And yeah, you'll hear a rather pained groaning as you come out of the inn and around the corner, and Giselle is there in a rather undignified position with her breeches around her knees, just looking very unhappy. And as you approach, she's just going to look up and just, Sigma, save me from this indignity.
Sigmar might help you, but I am might be able to help you, but I'm pretty sure I could help you a little quicker.
Please, if you have anything. I must have ingested some of that damn sewer water. Oh god.
I'm trying not to laugh at this because it's a horrible thing. It really is. I feel bad for anybody that ever has to deal with, stomach issues.
Yes.
But it's kind of comical at the same time.
It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah,
Yes.
So,
especially because she rolled 100 on it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's why it was like, that's why I was wondering, because that would have been like a critical fumble of some sort.
Yep. So yes, you've managed to rummage up enough ingredients out of your apothecary bag, and as I said, the galloping trots is super common, so it would have been, just stuff that you easily had on hand.
Yeah.
And Giselle will willingly take the tincture from you, and she sort of gives you a look and raises an eyebrow. And if this was an extended plan to kill me, I would take that gamble. And she knocks back the tincture that you gave her and hands the bottle back. It's gonna take a little bit of time to kick in.
Armita's just gonna shake her head as she takes the little bottle back. No. If I planned to kill you, it wouldn't have been giving you the medicine to get you over this. And we need to get you back to Ubersreich.
Indeed. Oh, goodness. Please just leave me to my shame now. I'm sure it will pass momentarily.
Armina's not gonna try and correct her and just nod her head and pat Erwin on the shoulder. Let's go.
So yes, you'll eventually you'll make your way back inside and settle down again. And once you do, eventually, she will make her way back in, moving a little gingerly and kind of just set herself down by the fire again with a very quiet groan of discomfort. But it does seem that your tincture did the trick, and she doesn't seem to be disturbed for the rest of the night. And you all get a handful of scant hours of rest before dawn comes, and the innkeeper is tromping around, stepping over you to come and stoke the fire up, and setting some gruel to boiling, and drawing some, rolling a keg of ale up from the basement. And I believe this is about the time that Thomas returns to you all. Looking no different than he was before, because he doesn't get shiny new robes for becoming a wizard. You're muted, Altor.
You're now a wizard with a better piece of paper, meaning you're allowed to learn actual magic. Congratulations.
I might have picked up another pair of robes, but they're no fancier. They're just the same.
They look the same.
It's like one day I will be a proper bright wizard with, metal candelabras on my shoulders.
Indeed.
But that is not today.
Yes. Yes, and as you all wake up and Thomas joins you again and Wen's going to look around and so we're going back to Uberstrike now?
If we can get a ride.
It has become dangerous to be in Altdorf.
Indeed.
He's going to look at Aldemar. But what about what Sister Habercorn asked you?
Mr. Habercorn asked me that when the situation was quite different.
Okay.
The goal is to keep you safe. You will be safest continuing to can only ensure your safety if you continue traveling with me. Going to the Temple of Sigmar is both a public exposure we can ill afford and a great risk, since you will still be wanted by our enemies for knowing more than you should.
That and we can't
And I
cross
cannot-
again.
And it is quite possible the Order of the Torch will want you to be taken by someone else. I could not promise that you would be given to me as an initiate. Therefore, that is something I cannot risk under the current circumstances.
Oh. Okay then. Okay. Then I will face this situation with strength and courage.
Well
Good
said.
idea.
And he nods.
And a hammer.
True, we should get you a hammer at some point, but cross that bridge when we come to it.
Just
It's really-
not cross that bridge.
It's okay. It's okay. You can just have Toki's hammer.
Nope, nope, nope.
Let's not.
Toki didn't have a hammer.
No,
Get next. He was a proper dwarf.
indeed.
Uh,
He had an axe that Amina still has.
yes, Armina still
And
has
to be honest,
everything except his book.
depending on the type of dwarf he is, though, it could be a very blunt axe.
No, you're pretty sure it's very, very sharp.
Ermina's
It
going to
definitely seems like a
ask
smoking wolf.
Giselle how
Yes.
she's feeling this morning.
I wish for the sweet embrace of death. But I must carry on and do my duties for the Herald. Is there any likelihood we could talk your barge friend into ferrying us back on the promise of the Lady Nacht to pay her when we get to Ubersreich?
We could certainly attempt it.
I was gonna say our barge friend, the one who we got 80% of her crew killed last.
But
time
she
we were on
likes
board, who was
us.
heading
Yeah,
the
that one.
opposite direction.
Yeah, that one, exactly.
She likes some of us.
She likes us, and her first mate likes Ermina.
Also, she doesn't know we were responsible. I was able to successfully convince her we had nothing to do with it.
He was. She was
But
still
haven't we-
upset, but you convinced her that yes, it wasn't anything you had any knowledge of.
Haven't we visited enough misfortune upon that poor fucking lady?
No, we need to get back to Ubersreich, and she's a convenient way to do so.
Yep.
Giselle nods. It is unfortunate that the innocent get caught up in these things, but time is of the essence, and I don't believe that we would move very expediently or very safely on foot along the roads. We could try and charter a carriage, but we would need to book one dedicated for us. In fact, we would probably need to book a wagon, which would cost much more money than I have myself.
I'm not saying don't take a barge. I'm just maybe not that barge.
She
Barges
likes
are
us.
even more expensive than wagons.
Yeah,
I
that's
can
why.
earn. I can earn a pretty decent living as a priest, but I mean, I think it would take far too much fucking time to earn enough money to get us to Ubersreich.
Yeah, no, what Giselle is saying, Andy, is lean on the person you already know, because she knows you've got a good source of money from somewhere. Any other barge owner in this city will probably laugh in your face.
Because they won't
Fair
know
enough.
you and won't necessarily trust that you would be able to actually pay them.
Let's go to where our boat. Let's go to where her barge docked. Let's work from there.
All right. Okay, yeah. So you're able to leave, or you'll leave the tavern and you'll make your way out into the streets. And the slums are a lot busier than they were in the nighttime. People are going to and fro about their business. And it would seem in the early hours of the morning while you were sleeping, the most vocal of the riots across the main bridge across Altdorf seems to have broken. And while there's still a very strange and tense, unsettled air to the city, there's not so many people wandering around shouting and hurling buns around. Though you do see the detritus of the night before. And yeah, for some reason, the roadways along the riverside and the main bridge across the river are covered in bread products. But you do make it back to the docks, and you do find that that Dane's barge is still in dock, and that she and her men are working to fill it with more goods. It would seem to take back to Ubersreich.
It's in the bag.
What, the chest?
It wasn't that big a chest. It was a small handheld chest. It's not like I'm carrying a big treasure chest that you find in the dungeon around.
I was thinking
To be
like sort of
fair, it's a-
Foot Locker, but you're a halfling.
No, it's like jewelry box size.
Which,
In my head,
again,
Legends of the chest.
halfling.
I'm not that small.
Yeah, small
Of
enough.
course you are.
Have you ever
I
seen a
think it rocked in
toddler
it.
carrying a jewelry box?
Mm,
It
yeah.
looks pretty dang big to them.
But
And a
yes,
crowbar.
it's easy enough to carry in his bag. But yes, and as you approach, Dane will look up over the side of the ship. And she'll look between you all and look at Giselle, and then just give you a very flat look. This is not good news, is it?
Depends on if you like passengers.
I like passengers who can pay.
Well, we did pay.
Paid
Yes,
more.
but do you have enough money to pay for another trip back?
Yes, we do actually. In Ubersreich.
That's what I was afraid of.
I'm sure between us we can manage to pay some up front and you can have the rest upon arrival.
How much is it anyway? I have entirely forgotten.
Well, before for us to get there, we think we negotiated for like 17 gold or 15.
15.
It was 15 because you went part way with her. You didn't get her all the way from Ubersreich.
Yeah.
On deck for the barge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Ow.
8, 9. So I think it worked out to be 20 gold coins all up for everybody to get to Ubersreich. Given
Yes.
Giselle has taken the place of Toki.
I wouldn't deceive you on the matter. It's good money and it's guaranteed.
When we get back to Ubersreich.
Yes.
And you'll notice as she's talking to you that her men are actually like kicking and thumping and checking every single box they bring aboard now.
Smart man.
Mistakes were made, lessons were learned.
We've
Oh,
gotten
actually-
Ubersreich. We have concluded our business here, and now we must be returning back to Ubersreich with all speed. You seem to be well suited for the task, and I thought you would appreciate the extra income. Patron is most wealthy and generous, but if you are not interested. I understand. I appreciate that, and I will see if there is another barge captain that wishes to get paid a large amount of money.
Dane's still standing there, like, just looking at you, but Raymond sort of leans over and like, wait, hang on. Let's not be hasty. And he sort of turns to Dane, like, you can't blame these people for those creatures. There was some foulness afoot. It would seem that there was some issue with the cargo. These men and women didn't bring the cargo aboard. And she sort of looks at him and just raises her eyebrow. I hadn't seen anything like that until these people boarded my boat and I lost half my crew. I promised that would never happen again. And, well, more than half. I lost my crew and I promised it never would happen again.
I lost my crew. I lost everyone but you. And, like, two other people.
Yeah, those two guys. And Raymond nods and he puts a hand on her shoulder. This was not your fault. This was not their fault. They say they have a patron who's bankrolling them. They had the money before. And they'll kind of go back to muttering back and forth. And Raymond will kind of glance over at Amina every so often as they do talk. And then Dane will look over at Amina. And she'll just kind of roll her eyes and throw up her hands.
Look, if you're worried about getting attacked by those strange beastmen again, the best security system you could invest in is taking Ermina on as a passenger.
Yeah.
You get the feeling that may have actually been the argument Raymond was making. because yeah, they were both kind of looking at Ermina and kind of mumbling to each other quite animatedly. But then yeah, Dane kind of throws up her hands and just makes a noise and basically goes stalking off below decks. And Raymond nods to you and, look, you say you've got a patron back in Ubersreich, yeah?
Correct.
Your patron will pay the full price of 20 gold coins.
Correct.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
When are you setting sail?
We're setting sail tomorrow morning. We've got to load up today, and Dane won't sail in the night. At least not to leave the city. Once we're out on the open river, then we don't stop.
Talkin has an idea.
Is this a good idea or a bad idea?
I'm assuming it's a bad idea.
It's a halfling idea, so it's a bad idea.
Exactly.
It's a half-baked idea.
It'll be for later, though, not right now.
Mm-hmm.
First, though, Tucker's gonna find a smith. If we're not doing anything for a while.
Mm-hmm. All right, yes.
He's going to pick up his tools at fucking long last.
All right. So yes, you are in the mercantile district of Altdorf. You will certainly be able to find many smiths of varying quality, from basically the lowest quality pig iron vendors up to smiths who work with the finest gold and semi-precious metals for the nobles.
Well, Taco's gonna find just a general smith, someone who works for general tools rather than like big swords and stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, someone who basically makes your standard. Well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, yeah, you'll easily be able to find a smith and definitely be able to get the tools that you want.
Yes.
You will find that you'll probably have to go to one of the lower class smiths to get the tools that you want because of the purpose of them. But yeah, I'm not going to make you any rolls to try and find them because thief tools are not hard to get.
Yep, basically, none of them are really like complicated enough to really need like a specialist.
Indeed.
I would like to, if we've got a day, I'm gonna go and see if I can get a Warhammer for Win.
Sure.
However, Calkin will at least try and haggle.
All right. Well,
He's
then,
gonna roll.
Yeah, roll your haggle.
Nope.
Is this an opposed test?
I actually don't know. I think about it.
Let's have a look.
It's probably opposed.
Yeah, I was going to say these sorts of things usually are.
Let's climb. Talents.
Haggle.
God. I really hate bringing Wen back to Ubersreich, but
Yep,
God
it's an
fucking
opposed
damn
haggle
it.
test.
It's like either leave him in the temple potentially to get assassinated by Skaven or picked up by Lord Mauler, or bring him back to Ubersreich where he might get murdered by other people, including our patron.
I mean, the only part of your job really was to make sure he got to the temple.
Now to figure out who actually won this.
It's not about It's
Yes.
not a matter of my job. I don't give a damn about my job. That was a favor to to another member of the church. Therefore, my
Yes.
goal is to keep one alive, of which neither option is good.
Indeed. And yes, unfortunately, unfortunately in Ubersreich, poor Wen is directly under the nose of oh god, what's his name? Fucking
General von Wendrick.
yeah, and all the other various fucking Ubersreichers who murdered his family.
Yeah. Freud
Yeah,
and everybody,
he's a
killed him.
von Jungfreud, yep. Though he's not going by the name anymore. But anyway, yeah, so you both failed, but he failed slightly less than you. So basically, he got 2 levels of failure, you got 3.
All right.
So let's have a look here. Yeah, so basically in that case, it's not enough to make him angry enough to raise the prices on you. It just means that you'll be paying full price unless you want to try re-rolling that.
Well, there goes 3 gold, but I tried.
Oof. All right, so yeah, 3 gold paid. And finding a Warhammer, indeed. Let's have a look at the weapons.
It's a hand weapon, so it's 1
Yep.
gold. Because,
Okay.
as said, I'm not talking about the Warhammer listed thing because
Yep.
it is misusing the term Warhammer.
Yep. you're just wanting to get him a hammer.
Yes, but it's a hammer that's designed to be used in battle. It's a Warhammer, not a maul. God, this annoys me so much.
I know. It's just funny to hear you have an aneurysm sometimes. Yeah, no, they're common. That's easy enough to find one. You could try finding an ugly one for half price if you wanted, or you could just pay the 1 gold and have it.
I could, but it wouldn't do for a brother of Sigmar to be carrying around an ugly hammer.
That's fair. So yeah, then that's 1 gold coin, and you can easily find a hammer. That's not a problem. All right, and
Alright,
is
there you
any-
go. There you go. When and what was it? Did I get him robes as well so he can pass as an initiative Sigmar and avoid most?
You did that
scrutiny?
earlier, yeah.
Give him your old ones.
That'd be
I
sick.
imagine I'm too big for him.
Yeah, he is a very slight and very small boy.
And here I thought Sigmarite robes came in one size
Wait, no,
fits all.
but he already had them from the woman, right?
He had serf's robes from her.
Mm. God
'Cause
damn it.
She had him disguised as a serf.
Okay, robes are they 1 gold or 2 gold?
Is there anywhere around here where I could pick up a deck of cards and a thing of dice?
Yeah, plenty of
I'd like
places.
to pick up a deck of cards and a thing of dice.
Okay then.
Robes to be 2 gold. Jesus Christ.
Right. I will say that for what you're looking for him, very simple initiative Sigma robes, I will say that they would be 1 gold.
Okay.
Because basically they're not going to be high quality. They're going to be very plain and very simple, comparatively speaking, compared to yours. And you are in Altdorf, which is the home of the Temple of Sigmar. So there are 1,000 fucking robe makers dedicated to making priest robes here.
Excellent, as they should be. Okay, when we need to taking back to Ubersreich, so we need to make you look the part, so you don't draw any attention to yourself and get horribly murdered.
Wen's just going to look at you as he takes the rose from you and just say, I get the feeling I'm going to be horribly murdered no matter what I do.
Oh, all of us probably will. You get used to it.
Okay. I think I need some ale.
He's become
In the
jaded
evening.
already.
Yeah, deck of cards and some dice are gonna be well fucking easy to find again. Any inn. There's plenty of stores dedicated to gambling and tools and various bits and pieces. Are they even statted in the book for cost?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
Cards
they?
are 1 silver, dice are 10 brass pennies.
Okay. Where are
I
they?
can tell when Vaughn's not looking at the chat.
Yeah. I only have one screen.
Miscellaneous trappings, page
Yeah.
308.
Okay, cool. Wait, let's try and leave for the boot don't break teeth. Okay. What? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, sure, fine. If you want to do that, pull your punch and you can punch him in the face. Yes.
As if they pull him a punch, do you want me to roll brawling, or can we just assume that since he's not going to dodge, I can just hit him?
We can just assume because he's asked you to hit him in the face that he will not. He will try not to dodge.
It's like, okay, just wait, I'm going to hit you on 3. 1, whack.
Pretty much. You
I
may
was
have to
thinking
do
more of-
that, but
I'm thinking more about the hilarity if we force the rolling and you miss, and then miss again.
I know, right?
no, I was thinking more if I fucking forced the roll and then he critical fumbled because then he would hit him in the face, except really hard. But yeah, yes, you can do that. Yeah, no, yeah, I only have one monitor. See, on my old computer, I had 2, so I had chat on one side and I had Roll20 on the other. In this computer, I do not have that.
I'm sorry.
So you should be. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, you can get your various cards and dice and things that you want as well. Yes.
Sweet.
Why is an ear pick statted for cost in this?
Why not?
Wait, really?
It
Hmm?
is on page 303.
Well, you have dwarves and they have very hairy ears.
What?
You do know what an ear pick is, right?
Yes, I was joking.
Okay, good.
I don't know what an ear pick is.
It's a thing for getting wax out of your ears.
Why is that
Oh, like a
static but
Q-tip.
not?
It's
Why is
not
it
a,
so expensive?
it's like a fucking little spoon thing that you scoop the wax out with.
Why is that static but not friggin' these tools?
God only knows. But anyway, yeah. So yeah. Okay. So you've punched Talcon in the face. I don't know why. I have no idea what his plan is, but it's done.
All right, Duncan's gonna get a bowl and go somewhere nice and start begging.
All right.
Great.
You're not going to be able to get to the truly nice places because A, the bridges are still closed, and B, begging is highly illegal in that part of the city, and you will be arrested again. But you can find yourself somewhere in the mercenary district that's okay, and that you could sit and have your bowl out and look pathetic and beg for people to give you money.
It's like the mercenary district or the mercantile district?
The mercantile district. I said mercenary district because that's what we had happening in Dark Heresy earlier today.
Yeah.
All right. What do you actually need to do begging?
It's
Begging
120.
skill.
It's a charm test.
All right.
The begging tag makes it better. You can only do it every hour or so without the talent.
Okay, no problems. Roll charm for me then.
I am adorable.
I'm cute, goddammit!
All right, a successful
from-
test. Yep.
If he gets benefit from his face getting punched.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you are going to. Well, I mean, he passed anyway, so. But yeah, you would have gotten a +10 from being punched in the face and being bruised and.
Oh, good. It's another penny.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, fellowship bonus by success levels, brass pennies per hour.
Listen, I've got brass 1. I can do this.
So yeah, how many brass pennies per hour is that you get?
That is charm. That's 4 plus the fellowship bonus, which is also 4. So
Right, and plus an extra 1 from the.
Yep.
So you get 9 pennies per hour.
yep,
Woo!
How many hours are you gonna do this for?
Talking about at least do it for like 5 hours.
Okay then. So Talcon has managed to successfully earn some money using his using a commercial skill.
Good job.
If anybody else wants to do anything like that, please feel free. You have a day to get some money coming in if you want.
I don't know how to use my skill to make money.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I
how do I
was-
utilize leadership right now?
You could round up a posse and go hunt fucking go hunt rioters.
I was gonna say, I think, hunting rioters. Now that's not a bad idea.
To be fair though, you would then have to take them back to the city guard, which would then draw attention
A
to
terrible plan, yes.
you.
There's not a whole lot of warrior priests of Tal running around here right now.
Mhm.
And I kind of stand out in a crowd. So, let's not do that.
I have to make money
Usually-
by wizard business.
What were you saying? Sorry,
Usually
Helen?
you get your money by doing
But-
the make money endeavor
With
using your,
the income one.
It's usually the thing that you do between adventures.
different thing. I think.
Yeah, breaking is just a really quick and easy way of doing
Mhm.
things if you have the lower status.
Boss can't really do it.
Yeah, the
If
rest
you
of
try to
this.
look decent, yeah, it's not going to be good for you. But Talcot's a thief. He's not going to care.
Yeah, Talcon has no shame. But yeah, so eventually Talcon will come back with his pocket full of brass pennies, and the ship will be loaded up and ready and waiting. Dane has actually hired a guard to stand watch over the ship for the night. Just a small mercenary crew that she's going to be paying a few coins to.
Okay. We'll need to keep an eye on them.
Okay, so are you going to watch the Watchmen?
Who
Well,
watches
yes,
the Watchers?
Maybe this could be absolutely nothing, but I am concerned about any group of people that are armed and know how to use them and are willing to kill people for money when the Skaven one is dead and a rich noble.
That's fair. You could always offer Dane that you will take the job instead.
Oh, yeah, it's
We could, but weren't we effectively doing that previously? I mean, as long as we're on her boat, we're effectively unpaid security.
But why be unpaid security when we can be paid security?
That's a good point, actually. Look, my faith is stronger than any sword.
I was about to say, his faith might be stronger than any sword. My sword is pretty damn strong as well. So, actually, yeah,
All
fuck it,
right.
let's go negotiate for fucking pay for guard work. How many guards did you say she was hiring?
She's hiring. Well, she was going to hire 5 of them. Basically, enough to keep watch over the deck and have a patrol going down below decks, just to make sure that things aren't being rummaged in the night.
So, enough to stab us all in the night after they're approached by a cloaked figure saying, kill, man things for gold, yes, yes.
Pretty much, yeah. See, this is the thing, though, is that she doesn't know that the Skaven can bribe people like that. So yes, she'll be talking with Raymond about hiring some mercenaries for looking after the boat, and in fact a crew of them will come along and she'll start talking to them. So it's up to you if you want to intervene here and offer to take the job, or if you want to wait until later, or what you want to do about that.
I'm not sure. Do we want to interject while she's interviewing the mercenaries? That feels rude and could cause problems if she still hires them.
Well, but the thing is, if she hires them, then why would she also hire us?
The thing is, I doubt she would actually hire us and be like, if you're doing this, you're doing it out of your own goodwill.
Well, as I would say, we could make it to where that way, instead of her paying us for it, she just takes that cost out of our transit fee. Taking us down from however much to however much. And as far as why hire us versus hire them, I'm willing to take on the head of the mercenary guys in nice, one-on-one friendly combat to show that I'm better at it than.
And this is where Lorelei dies.
That's the thing, though. I mean, we don't know exactly how skilled these guys are, which is another part of what concerns me, honestly. They might well be better than any of us.
Here's the thing, that's why it's a friendly, non-fatal competition. If I lose, then they hire the ones that could kill us in combat apparently anyway, and we're no worse off.
I could drop a meteor on all of them. That feels a little excessive.
What is with you in trying to kill followers of Sigmar?
He just wants to drop a meteor. He has that raging, I need to drop a meteor on a motherfucker boner going.
As I say, I actually feel him wholeheartedly on that. I keep wanting to hit people with my mind hammer on 40k and not having an opportunity, and it sucks.
But yeah, anyway, I will say this. She's not just going to hire the first mercenary group that she talks to. So there is kind of an interview process. So getting in on that interview process is probably going to be your best bet without having to, undercut an existing group that she's got hired.
Let's offer our services.
So yeah, you will see her interviewing a few mercenary groups across the course of the day. And you figure that that's what they are after the second or third group comes up and she talks to them, and then they kind of mumble back and forth, and then she sends them away again.
Okay, as I'd say, after she sends away the last group, I'd like to walk up to her.
Okay.
Crap, what's her name again?
Dane.
Dane Yeager.
Dane, thank you. Captain Dane.
It's
Yes.
in the journal.
I forget names and I can't read.
Lorelei has a point.
You
She
don't
can't
forget
read.
anything.
Lorelei can't read. She's not
Anyway.
wrong.
Before we continue, I'll have to go out for like 20-30 minutes.
All right, no
You
problem,
guys have
man.
my sheet.
Yep,
I'll probably
I'll
come back at some point.
Yep,
All right.
I'll give you all control of Erwin's sheet so that you can actually control him.
He makes a fair point, though. Only people with literacy should be able to access the journal.
I'm almost tempted to, except I believe that Hellian's the one who fills it out most frequently.
Yes.
And I'm not sure he's literate.
Oh, God, no. He's a peasant. Can't get literacy.
Exactly. So, anyway. Alright, yeah, so Dane will sort of look over at you, Lorelei, and she'll sort of turn from what she was doing. Yes?
It appears as though you're looking for men-at-arms.
I am.
Well, as you may know, we are no slouches in a fight. You've seen how effective we are. You've seen that we're good at making things that are alive and want to do harm to you not alive and no longer able to do harm to you. So, maybe we could work out a arrangement.
What's your price?
Well, let's see. There are 8 of us. 2 of us are very accomplished beastmen killers, as you've seen yourself.
Are you trying to get? Are you going to try and get Ermita in on this?
You stabbed a fucking gutter runner to death, and I tackled one off the side of the boat. We took 2 gutter runners, 2 very stabby, murdery, killy rats, just right fucking out. So yeah.
Okay.
So you're asking for 1 gold per person?
Yes.
You're asking for 9 gold, expecting her to do the trip down to Ubersreich with you on board for 11 gold.
Well, hold on. 8 gold. We're not counting one. No, see, he's a boy. I'm not gonna be. That's even for me. That's a fucking stretch.
Then and not everybody is going to be wanting to do this. I'm sure. Oh fuck! I forgot her name already because her nameplate's not there.
Giselle.
Giselle. Giselle's
Okay, hang on a
indisposed
second.
at the moment. Still.
I haven't. There you go. There's it. Sorry, I could see her nameplate. I didn't realize you guys couldn't. Sorry.
Yeah, Giselle's still feeling the effects of sewer water.
Yeah. She's actually, you raised a
Jane
very
doesn't know
good
that.
point. You raised a very good point there. Out of character. If you hadn't convinced Giselle to stay, the trots would have hit her while she was on the road.
Oh
Oh,
god.
yeah.
Oh lord.
Yeah.
Like you found another with your age instead. It's like how was she assassinated?
Less assassination and more just unfortunate. I've lost my train of thought. Is derailed. The poop train is
Price
derailed.
and, 1 gold per-
But
I'm hiring for the night. The average going price for the night is 4 gold.
per done.
Not per for the group.
Acceptable.
Alright. She'll hold her hand out to you.
Like
And-
in a shake or like in a bag? Like what sort of handout am I looking at here?
Shake. Well, she's not
Oh,
asking
okay.
you to
Shake.
pay her so that you can work for her.
I didn't know if it was like one of those. I'm not a smart man, all right? Smart woman in this particular instance. So that's why I need clear
That's-
things. So
That's why you need a handler.
yeah, where the hell's fucking Taliesin during this shit? But
After
Still begging.
Still
After
begging
you
and looking
shriek-
cute as fuck.
yeah,
after
as I say,
she
I'll-
shrieks, she remembers claws in, claws in.
No, but
Yes.
I'll reach out. I'll shake her hand.
Alright. And she'll just look at you and just... I hope you don't mind if we hold off on payment till we get to Ubersreich. I'm a little short on funds, you see.
You know what? That's fair. I'll hold you to it.
And she'll nod and then... You'll need to keep watch tonight. It's up to you how you arrange your shifts. Me and my men will be in the inn over there. She'll sort of point off down the road a little bit.
Now, just for clarification, regarding the boat, y'all are on your own, correct?
Yes, no, she's not expecting you to bodyguard them.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
the boat
that's
and the cargo aboard the boat.
fair enough. We'll arrange ships and get this squared away.
Right, and she'll nod and go back to checking the cargo that she was looking over.
And
And,
then Lorelai's gonna find everyone and be like, guess what, guys? We're doing guard duty. Free-ish. Because Lorelai didn't
No.
really ask anyone. She just kind of did it.
Yeah, I don't care. If need be, I'll fucking lead y'all to guard duty. It'll be fine. But here's the thing. We have the quoted price for transit being 20 gold. We're only gonna have to pay her 16 gold. Therefore, we can collect the difference later. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out. The halfling will figure something out. He's friends the operation.
You're gonna ask Lady Nuck for 20 gold and then give her 16.
Well, or we'll get paid our 4, and then we'll ask for the 20 for transit, and then it'll be.
Oh dear.
Plus,
Anyway,
I trust us to not murder us in our sleep.
that's a good point. Also, being on guard on the ship on the boat means that you can, those of you who aren't on watch, can sleep on the boat, and you don't have to pay for an inn tonight.
And we don't gotta pay for an inn. Exactly.
So there you go.
Kind of a win.
Yay, win-win.
I'm not a negotiator. I'm here for stabbing.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But you still have to go back and tell everybody this.
Oh yeah, no, I'll break it down to the group.
So yes, Lorelei has gone to talk to Dane.
All right. So, on the plus side, I've arranged accommodations for us tonight. On the downshot, we're gonna have to sleep in shifts. No objections? Good. Moving on.
Giselle's just going to look at you. What have you arranged?
Well, by virtue of the last time we left our transit unaccompanied, a lot of people died horribly. This time, we will be keeping a watch on our mode of transit.
Setting guards probably a good idea. Having us be responsible for it is definitely a good idea.
I need to be on board.
Giselle still looks sick as a dog.
Oh yeah, she's not looking good.
So she'll be
We
hanging
will
off the side of the boat
accommodate-
as it is anyway, so she can keep an eye out.
As I'd say, we will go ahead and accommodate her current physical condition as best we can while posting guards.
Well, I mean, Amina did make a successful roll, so she's not still actively shitting her brains out. It's like when you've had gastroenteritis and you know that you're not going to be sick anymore, but you still, you're still not
I
up to
know,
eating
but-
a quarter pounder.
You're looking at food
I
like,
get that.
no.
She's not going to be
But,
sitting
we're-
right for a day or two.
Trying to be considerate of as many people as can be.
But yeah, she'll nod and just. I'm thankful that you all convinced me that this was the better way to go about things. I dread to think what would have happened if I'd been on the road when this struck me.
Probably be dead.
Ermina's gonna softly look. You probably
I was gonna say,
died of dehydration and. Yeah?
so
An
say,
ignoble way to go.
and I'll just give her a wink and say, but luckily we had Ermina here.
Yes. It is useful to travel with an apothecary.
Not only that, you should have seen what she did to this rat beastman. Quite impressive.
Perhaps you'll have some time to tell me while we're sitting watch tonight.
Indeed. Do you play cards?
I might have been known to in my time.
Fantastic.
Speaking of Ermina, I had wanted to redo my sketches that got ripped out.
I will get you to roll intelligence for me, and let's see how you go on that.
Any modifier?
You're working from memory, so I'm going to say it's going to be -10.
Okay. We'll see if I can do it. No! I can try again.
So yeah. I mean, your drawings are quite good, but you find it frustrating because you know how human anatomy should work. But these things are obviously rats, so you're just struggling to get the proportions, you're struggling to get everything as good as it had been. But you can draw what you remember of the fight against them, so kind of general rat shapes and people fighting and things like that.
Yeah.
But yes, unfortunately, those sketches of yours are long gone.
But my my Skaven whiskers are still in the bottle. With my
They are,
poison
you still have them.
thorns. With my poison thorns.
Yay!
Super sad I
Which-
lost my pelt.
How many thorns do I have? Probably quite a few in there. Because I got everyone's rose.
Yeah, each rose stem probably had. Let's fuck it. Let's fuck it.
I'd rather
Don't
not.
fuck it, that's how you die.
Okay, so each stem unfortunately only had a couple of thorns on it. So between 2 and 3 per stem. So you're still probably looking at about 12 to 18.
Okay.
But obviously, being thorns, they're a little tricky to use as weapons.
Yes. But I have plans.
Oh.
Anytime people have plans, I start getting nervous because I know the kind of plans I come up with.
Indeed. Yes, you come up with some spectacular plans. All right. And it is unfortunate, but I am going to have to call a short session tonight because I didn't quite know where exactly you were going to choose to go after all of this business. So I hadn't really planned too far beyond this point.
Okay.
So I will call it there for you tonight.
I'm not sure what the plan was, cause without I guess we could have done this regardless, maybe by just promising money.
I
So,
could. I'm gonna
without-
just. I'm gonna fortune that one intelligence roll and see if it does any better. While
Yeah, I
you
guess
guys
it
are
does- it does-
talking.
Yeah, I guess it does turn out Giselle wasn't net critical for us getting back.
Critical success.
Yay! She wasn't super critical for you getting back. I honestly expected that you guys were going to try and get the barge anyway. I also didn't know if you were going to go straight back to Ubersreich, if you were going to try and basically go somewhere and lick your wounds and gather everything together and then see what you were going to do. Whether you were going to spend some time just kind of disappearing into the city and then go on. So it was kind of a bit up in the air about what you were going to do, but that's cool.
We could. The problem is going anywhere else feels like running and hiding, which I don't want to do. And as long as the Skaven are trying to kill us, nowhere feels safe.
That is also true. That is a very good point. Because yay, Skaven.
Stab, stab.
Where are the Skaven? The Greenskins have their areas. The Beastmen have their areas. Where's Skaven? Oh yeah, they're freaking everywhere. Everywhere there's an urban population.
Indeed. But yes. With the critical success, you have managed to successfully recreate your drawings down to the whisker.
Down to the whisker.
Indeed. In fact, what I will say with this is that you had the striking idea to do a rubbing on the page behind where you'd had the Skaven pictures. And you actually managed to get an imprint from the previous drawing you'd done. And then kind of extrapolated that out and reproduced it and got it to be a better quality by just pulling that page out and copying it.
And
So,
then
yeah,
and then I'll do a little comical sketch of Lorelei with her fur, since she'll never remember it, and give it to her.
Oh, look, you lost this thing.
You lost this, but here's a picture of you with it.
Alrighty, so now I am going to give you all 150 XP for tonight.
Sweet.
Beat.
Because this was a court session, and also I agreed that I would give you more XP in taking away short-term personal goals.
150.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I also managed to acquire my personal short term for once.
Yeah, well, personal short-term aren't happening anymore, so...
Yeah, no, I'm kind of glad to have it finished.
Okay, well, to improve my praying even further.
I have to figure out what to spend my XP on, because I didn't spend last session's XP, so now I have 400 XP to spend.
And my prayer's at 60.
Excellent. Yes, and I also need to finish up because I didn't get a chance to make dinner before we started, so...
Hungry, huh?
Yeah. I could do with eating.
I could do with eating too, because I've just had coffee all day.
Well, as I said to Altor, it's not like when I'm playing when I can just mute myself and chow down.
This is true.
Yep.
So, but L5R
Oh,
tomorrow?
that.
Yep.
Yep. Will be the. We're now definitely into fall, so you'll get to enjoy the White Lotus Festival and all that.
Hooray!
I'm sure, and it will be fun and exciting and completely without incident.
It will be magical.
Definitely no fires.
Yes.
Definitely not. Masako will not set anything on fire.
Why is it with every game we have a fire mage?
Because fire is fun.
And now I can
Fair point.
start all the fires and blame them on Massacre.
To be fair, our Deathwatch game doesn't have a fire mage.
That's true. No one has a Flammenwerfer in our Deathwatch game.
I used to.
I have Avenger. That's kind of like a Flammenwerfer.
Yeah, but it'd be more like if you were a salamander or something. Actual fire. It's 100 experience. Oh yeah, completed is 100, so just spend that.
Yeah,
I guess
just waked up.
I've got to think about what's going to happen with Wen. Because I don't really want to make him a real character, because obviously that's just too much bookkeeping for everybody involved.
It's simple. Kill him.
I don't want to kill him. Well, I mean, he may die.
The problem is just where the story is gone and all that. I was figuring we'd be able to drop him off, after we did all this. But the problem is now I'm like, I feels wrong to just leave him in Altdorf under the current circumstances.
I mean, you could have dropped him off. That was definitely a perfectly legitimate thing. You could also try dropping him off at a different Temple of Sigmar elsewhere. One not in Altdorf or Ubersreich.
Potentially, but that still puts him in danger. Because we're
Indeed.
being followed, and I assume we are, based on what happened just trying to get here in the first place. Then if we drop him off somewhere and leave with him knowing of the Skaven's existence, he'll probably get fucking murdered.
Probably yes, but maybe not. It's hard to say.
We could just. Well, no, I think that'd still be pretty much booking. I was looking at the hireling and henchman rules. See if they can help. But I don't think that's gonna help too much.
I think it might just be a case of I'll have a look over him and just kind of give him a bump to a few stats and maybe give him a couple of extra talents and skills. So not send him through a full character progression path, but just improve him a little bit, because he is learning and changing as you go along.
I don't
Every
want to
session
hang
he
on to
gets
him
it.
forever unless you want to. I just don't want to. I don't want him to leave. I feel responsible at some level for his well-being. I don't want to leave him in a place where I suspect he will get murdered.
I mean, the other option is obviously training him up to a point where you feel he has some degree of competence, and then leaving him, but basically being like, you will always have to be on your guard.
Yeah, true.
So I'd say I'm more than happy to train him.
I think that's one of the reasons why he's keeping him with him for now. I don't think it was an idiot.
Faith is stronger than any claw.
Yes, however, in order to survive long enough to get your faith to that point, you're gonna need a pointy.
I mean, could be worse. You could be trusting Ermina to trade him, and that's just, get super pissed off at getting woke up in the middle of the night by a screaming, squabbling 12-year-old over something and just stab things to death.
To be fair, when he did that, he saved most of y'all's lives.
Yeah, you would have got stabbed if he hadn't have screamed.
Yeah. And she wouldn't have absolutely murdered everything if he hadn't have screamed. But, yes, fun times. You'll figure it out.
Now I can finally level up dexterity. Thank God.
Yeah, I'm super sad that I won't be able to improve my fellowship at all until I hit 4th round.
Well, it's the trade-off compared to the priest. Much better in melee and all.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I can. I can now improve my melee basic skill, who fucking Ray, but I can't learn any actual good weapons, and I can't improve my weapon skill ever. So,
Neither can I. I can't. Nope.
but what I can do is keep improving my fellowship and my praying, so I can cast miracles really, really well, which are better than my melee attacks anyway.
Yay!
That's
Also,
why I picked the miracles that enhance my melee attacks.
Yep.
everybody needs to see this.
No, that is
I like what they've done with it.
horrifying.
Slightly less horrifying than what was in the original trailer.
Yeah, fair.
Mhm.
I've seen some horrifying ones because they decided to post them all the time.
Yeah.
Because this is our new hobby.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I guess, I guess you've got to call it a success of marketing because people are paying a lot more attention to a Sonic movie than they normally should be.
Mhm.
Anyways, I'll see you all tomorrow.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
See ya.
See ya.
See
Bye.
ya.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah, I'm off to go get something to eat.
All right. So let's go say hi to Fred, who's doing Twitch things, it looks like. And I'll see you guys later. Thank you for coming. It's been fun.